up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Oh, man, it feels good to be back. On tonight's show, we got a whole bunch of industry news to talk to you guys about. Thriller coming to IMAX. What? That's crazy.
What?
And we have two special guests this week. Two. Who do we got on this week, guys?
James Dumont
And
Randy Gonzalez.
double guest show. That is right. That is right. And of course, we got box office predictions, word of the day, and the Billboard top charts.
And
Good
favorite
shit.
five.
And our top 5 favorites.
And our top 5 favorite directors this week.
Ooh.
Hope you guys are
Directors.
ready for that.
Tavia's
Yeah.
like, oh shit,
yeah.
forgot about that.
I really did.
Yeah.
I really did.
Ooh, yeah, because Tavia has to leave early today, so we
Yeah.
might have to get that out there before we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
or
we
I
start
can just do
the
it
show?
next time.
Or I could just do it next time, she says.
Negative Ghost Rider.
She's negative.
Can both the females do it next time?
Negative Ghost Rider. We'll give you a little bit of time. Let's discuss a little bit of industry news, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah. All right. What are we starting off with this week?
Yeah, let's see. What are we starting off with?
I don't
Is
know.
it Thriller?
Well, I mean, it's going
Nah.
in order.
Let's
No?
No, not
From
But
the
I
top
gave
down?
it a
All right,
spicy
let's start with
introduction.
Thriller. Let's
Okay.
start with Thriller.
Thriller. All
The
right.
King of Pop.
The King of Pop.
The King of Pop.
Gonna be in.
How many years
IMAX
is this?
theater.
An anniversary or something that they're doing this for?
Oh, I believe so.
Old as shit.
His birthday was the other day. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people were paying tribute to him.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Maybe they're just doing it to be nice because he's no longer the best-selling album of all time.
Mm.
Thriller was a
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eagles.
The Eagles.
So maybe they're like,
Eagles.
okay, let's put Mike in
Let's
IMAX.
just-
They're going to release Hotel California in IMAX.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I would be okay with
There
that.
was no
I think
movie.
that would be really
Just need
cool.
an epic music video to fit with it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Was
saying.
there ever one made?
I don't know. Was there?
I don't know.
I don't.
It's a good
I
question.
mean, you guys have
If
been
so,
around
it's
more
probably
than me.
like concert
Yeah.
It's a
video
concert,
type,
yeah.
like footage,
Yeah.
concert footage type.
Yeah.
One of those. It's definitely not like Thriller.
Yeah.
It's going
They
to be in
should-
3D.
Yeah.
They
Let's
should
be honest
get.
about it, though. Thriller was epic. in
It
the
was.
day.
It's
Well,
like
John
an
Landis-
11, 12-minute video.
It's like the first video ever directed by a major film.
Yeah,
a major film
they
director.
really changed the whole game when it came to music videos.
a
Yeah.
major makeup artist.
Well,
Yeah.
and I mean, quite honestly, it's a short film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
You
is.
can't- I don't even call it a video. It's
No.
a short film.
It
I
really
mean,
is.
It's longer than some short films.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Honestly.
so
You got John Landis and Rick Baker working on it. That's pretty significant for
Yeah.
the time. Man.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, Thriller. IMAX.
IMAX.
Yeah.
It's in
Speaking
IMAX.
of, I'm really excited
Are you?
because
Are you really?
this Sunday coming up.
Sunday.
I'm not sure if it's this Sunday. One of the Sundays coming up. I don't know which date. I guess
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look. But I was really excited because
pretty vague.
they are
Right.
re-releasing Superman the
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
in
for the
theaters
40th
for
anniversary.
40th anniversary.
Yeah.
40th anniversary.
And that's like the very first movie I ever saw in the theater.
There you
I
go.
was that 8-year-old
Yeah.
boy that believed a man could fly. That was the tagline. You'll believe a man can
I've
fly.
never seen
I
that
believed a
movie.
lot of things when I was 8 years old.
And
I believed in
what?
Santa Claus.
Crazy Ant Group. We all should go.
Crazy Ant Bonding.
It is seriously like an epic film. Yes, it's the superhero film that all of the rest come from. It's the one that started it all.
It is the granddaddy.
It is
the granddaddy.
It is
Literally
the-
granddaddy.
There would currently
with
be no Marvel
a
Cinematic
Walker,
Universe. None of
gray
it.
hair.
None of anything you see superhero wise would
Dentures.
exist without.
There are people
Superman
that
the
were
movie.
were kids that have grandchildren now. That when that movie came out,
Yeah.
it's true.
Just saying.
You don't. I'm not
You
saying
don't.
you do, but there are
You're
people
close.
that do.
You're close. But anyway.
Emily's face.
Am I?
I mean,
Hold on,
This
I
is
gotta go
apparently
get the gun.
news to.
Hold on, I gotta go get the
I'm
gun.
telling
This is apparently news to Emily and
This-
Dustin and some poor guy is going to get shot.
this is
randomly.
that's not what I was talking
Alright.
about. But anyway.
Wasn't what I was talking about either. I don't know
Oh
why.
my goodness. Danny Boyle. Reports of creative differences. That's why he left James Bond. But apparently they were creative differences over killing the Bond character.
Yes, apparently Danny Boyle wanted to kill Bond.
Yeah.
No, I think he left because they wanted to kill
No,
Bond.
they wanted to kill
Oh,
Bond.
yeah,
So very vague.
yes, that is correct.
I don't
Right.
know.
And because I guess Craig wanted his James Bond to go out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And, like, done. And
Danny Boyle's like, fuck this. I have nothing to do with this. We're not
Ooh.
killing off.
Yeah.
Now we get the tropical storm weather.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
hey, Gordon,
Hey. Yeah.
where were you?
Yeah,
Like-
while recording this show, we may experience some technical difficulties. Just giving you a prepared warning.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I already put my sandbags up.
Oh man, be
I poured that
prepared.
shit back out on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness. But my laptop's charged, and I hope yours is charged.
Yeah, mine is charged.
Awesome.
It's like, hello,
Hello,
Gordon.
Gordon knocking on the door, coming after you.
Yeah.
Creative.
You thought he
differences.
was gone, but
Me-
no.
But no.
No.
I'm actually still here. Okay. Anyway. So that thunder from Gordon is kind of like men firing guns, and people are firing guns.
Nice
at,
segue.
at Ice Cube's concerts. What is up with
What?
this?
True.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
couldn't get in. There was the tickets were sold out, and he was so upset that he started to fire a gun into a crowd of people. But
What?
yeah,
Yeah. Like
Ice Cube
shot
did?
several
yeah,
shots
no,
up in the air.
this
oh,
random dude.
I thought you were talking
No,
about
not
No,
Ice Cube.
no.
Nah,
No.
Ice Cube couldn't get into his own concert?
Like,
He is
Okay.
conformed. Have you
Yeah.
seen Are We There Yet?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I was confused.
Yeah.
That's why I was
He
confused.
was reformed.
But yeah,
he was
it
never
was-
a gangster.
Yeah.
Speaking
But he
of-
was a boy in the hood.
Yeah, he
was.
So,
Yeah.
random
was.
little quick side story. We heard gunshots in the drive-thru at Starbucks the other day, and then
Oh,
saw
my
people
goodness.
running, and then saw a bunch of cops flying down the road.
Oh,
So Starbucks is dangerous, y'all.
Starbucks.
So
is
don't
dangerous.
go.
Straight
Oh,
out of
shit.
Starbucks.
Shit. Gulfport is infiltrating Biloxi.
Yeah,
Look
like,
out.
shit.
Look out. Uh-oh.
Anyway, just
Yeah.
random
Welcome
little
to
side
Beirut.
note.
Can we just
What
talk
happened?
about why was it held at like a speedway?
I have no idea.
Like it was like in some like dirt racetrack, I think.
Yeah,
is what
in
I want
San
to say
Diego.
the concert. is
Yeah,
where
Because
it
that
was
like-
sounds
held.
comfy and inviting.
and inviting.
Okay then.
Like, all right.
All right then.
Comfort place to
All right.
hold a concert.
Where's your comfort place? A dirt track?
And,
Nothing better.
NASCAR.
Give me a pillow. I'm good.
Left turn.
Where's Dale Earnhardt Jr. at?
Oh my goodness. Oh.
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 Damn.
There, them gunshots.
All right. We
Yeah.
will not be deterred from this show, though.
No.
We will
No.
not.
No.
No matter how high the water rises, we will not be deterred.
We will
Like,
continue.
The bay is right back there.
there is.
Yeah. Sure.
Hey.
Okay. Netflix.
Netflix.
This one's an interesting one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
What they doing?
apparently, Netflix tells all their people that are involved in their original programming, movies and TV shows and everything, and I say tells, but they encourage. They've never told anybody. They encourage these people to, when they give interviews and do press for the shows and movies, to not refer to the term binge watching.
Oh.
And it's because they feel that binge
Is
is a
politic-
negative
yeah.
in tone.
So what is
Be-
the politically correct term to use?
I don't think they want to use anything where it implies that you sit for an extended period of time watching shows.
Right.
This
I
is
feel
stupid.
yeah. So I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
You created it
Exactly.
by
Binge watching.
putting a show out and putting it all out at once.
Mm-hmm.
You have created the binge watching culture.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And you don't really get to control what pop culture names things.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
even if
exactly.
they've never specifically used the term binge, you can't control what other people are going to call it.
No.
Right.
What else would you call it? You're binging on it. I
Yeah.
mean,
Exactly.
that's what you're doing.
And I mean, it's not it's a far cry from binge drinking, binge eating, binge. It's not
But-
this.
As the mouth holds up his glass of wine.
Yeah.
That's right.
What is
But-
that? Apothic?
Cheers.
Apothic red? What is
No, this is Apothic Brew.
that? Apothic brew.
This is a fine red mix with coffee.
I believe I speak.
Uh,
I believe I am going to quote Emily when I say. Anyway,
Anyway.
Whatever. Thank you, Apothic. You guys rock. That's all I'm
Is
saying.
that really
Apothic.
good?
It's
Is
delicious.
it? She said.
No,
is
it's
it?
really good. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I know everybody thinks that, but it's delicious.
moving on.
I know.
I
it
think you
sounds-
just like coffee too much.
No,
Coffee and wine.
and wine.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, my blood flows through my body as a fine mix between coffee,
Coffee
and
and
wine.
wine.
It's true, but that's not the point.
And that's
It's-
not the
It
point.
actually tastes good.
I think I'll stick with my Bud Light Orange.
I feel
That's
you.
good too, though.
They are good. I don't really like Bud Light or Bud Light Lime, but Bud Light Orange is not
Pardon
bad.
me, I'm going to bring my microphone down from.
Okay then.
Anyway, sorry.
Where are we
Amazon.
At? I don't even know where we're at. Oh, we're at Netflix binge watching.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that.
Yes.
I'm back.
He's back.
I think
Apple.
we all agree with that.
The Apple Corporation is no longer alone.
Yes, they are.
Oh.
It briefly Amazon briefly crossed the $1 trillion
And
mark,
then they
then fell
went
back
back
down.
Oh.
But they at
So
some
that's hardly
point-
news. Moving on.
No, because they will at some point be able to maintain it over $1 trillion. They
Right.
definitely will be the next one to maintain a $1 trillion value.
All right.
Which is interesting because
Yeah. It's a lot
Apple
of
and
money.
the Amazon, they got a lot of money, and who was it the other day? The Hollywood Reporter that referred to the 8 Hollywood
I can't
conglomerates that
remember.
are like ruling Hollywood.
Yeah.
We feel 5. Eventually, it will be like 5.
Yeah.
And they did include 20th Century Fox, which
Uh-huh.
we know. Which, by the way, they said 20th Century Fox, and it's 21st Century Fox, dumbasses. But anyway, that's Disney now. So
Yeah.
those two will merge.
Yeah.
That would give them 7, and we
Yeah.
really feel like there's a couple other ones like Comcast and Sony that are going to drop off.
Yeah.
Because
There
they're
he
just
goes.
not going to be able to compete.
Oh.
I mean, have you seen the sanctions that the Justice Department, the antitrust and stuff that they put against Comcast like
Mhm.
way back?
Yeah.
They ended, or they're getting ready to end. And the Justice Department has already told them, we are still going to continue to watch everything you do, even though
Oh,
these
shit.
sanctions are done.
Damn.
I mean, they hate Comcast. I mean, they all but said, hey, we're going to approve Time Warner. Hey, we're going to approve Disney. You, Nope.
Comcast.
Yeah, not Comcast. It's like, you want to do what? No.
Nope.
Fuck you, Comcast.
I mean, that's basically what they keep telling them. So I feel like Comcast is at some point not going to be able to survive.
Yeah.
They're going to, every time they're going to try to do something to save themselves, the government's going to
Yeah,
say
like,
no.
nope.
And that's going to be it.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
like, I don't know.
We shall see.
That's going to be it.
We shall see.
Uh-oh.
Fuck Comcast.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. What's coming?
We're going to get a big one.
We are.
Just saw a big clap of lightning. And there it
Big
is.
clap of lightning.
Clap of lightning. If the power goes out, we will edit this.
Yes.
And so it'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be
It'll
awesome.
be
And some
fucking-
old man instincts.
Do you have an
Here
infrared
comes
on
the
that
clap.
camera?
All right, let's get into. Can we just because a couple of these will be quick ones, so let's get into the long one here because we have some great guests and everything. So I really want to talk about this one because this one angered me.
Yes.
This one angered me.
Elvin?
Yeah, Jeffrey Owens. If you guys are not familiar with that name, you're definitely familiar with the face.
Yeah.
He played Elvin on the Cosby Show, the very male-centric. A woman should be in the kitchen, pregnant and barefoot, and kind of thing. And that was the whole plot of his character and how
Yeah.
he was gradually learned, thanks to the Cosby women, how to be a man, and respect women.
Be a man.
Isn't that funny, right? The irony of that. Because that's what I want to talk about. If you guys haven't seen the news, and by the way, how could have you not seen the news
Yeah.
this week? Jeffrey is apparently holding down a job at Trader Joe's in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Now, how did this happen? Did the person who was checking out with him go, Elvin?
Yeah, well, somebody
they-
recognized
they took
that
a
that's
picture
who he
of him.
was
Oh.
and took
Yeah.
a picture
Took
of
a
it.
picture of him.
And first of all, everybody's like hardcore on him because he had a dirty shirt. I'm sure the shirt was not dirty when he started the day. The
Right.
man is working.
Like,
Okay, he
relax.
probably was working and got dirty working. And but
Exactly.
the point is that he's working. He's got a job. He's holding down a job at Trader Joe's in New Jersey. And these people took his picture, of which I guess he didn't mind, I'm sure he saw them take the picture with it.
Yeah.
But it blew up thanks to Fox News, because if I'm not mistaken, they're the first outlet that posted it.
Yeah.
And they basically, their headline dogged him for how far he's fallen from the Cosby Show to Trader Joe bag
Well, I
boy,
mean,
or,
because it was Cosby related. I'm pretty sure they were just
But-
looking for.
But my thing, and then it quickly escalated. Everybody followed suit. Everybody was dogging him about how pathetic it was that he's an actor and now he's bagging groceries or
Yeah.
now he's doing this and that, and it just kind of unloaded on
Yeah.
him. And the reason it pisses me off is because the absolute and complete ignorance of fucking people.
Yeah.
The irony of how quickly all of these people within moments
Yeah. Honestly.
jumped to Bill Cosby's defense
Mhm.
so quickly in the same manner, tore this guy down for having a job.
Mhm.
It's like, so you'll defend this guy even though all this shit you're hearing, but you're going to tear
Yeah,
this man down
but,
because he's
yeah.
got a job?
But there were a lot of people that came to his defense too.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Initial.
Yeah.
Because yes, it did rebound. There was a lot of people that came, and by the way, for just before we defend the Trader Joe's thing, if you look at his IMDb page, okay,
He's
He's working.
He's still
Yeah.
working.
He worked
Yeah.
recently. He's been in shows as
Exactly.
recently as a month ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's just newsflash. Not everybody makes $20 million.
Well,
okay.
No.
And I really liked what some of the points that came up was that Trader Joe's offers things that acting jobs usually can't. Reliable hours and reliable pay. You don't
Right.
always know what you'll make as an actor or when you'll find your next gig, and benefits. What if he needs health insurance for himself and his family, and he doesn't make enough?
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
he may not make enough acting hours to get in the union
Yeah,
benefits.
because a lot of people don't realize that when you qualify for those unions, you have to make a certain amount of money
Yeah.
in order to continue to qualify for the union, and plus you have to pay the dues. And so if you don't make a certain amount and you don't make the dues, you're out. I mean,
Exactly.
and maybe he wasn't getting consistent enough work to either pay the dues or he didn't make enough in a year. I think I want to
Exactly.
say it's a year span. You have to make a certain amount of money
Right.
to stay eligible for the union. And maybe he wasn't doing that. But I think everybody lives in this fantasy world. They think actor. They think Tom Cruise. They think
Yeah.
$20 million. And it's like, no,
Like on top
newsflash,
of the
90% of working actors are job to job and don't
Yeah,
make
they're
anywhere
pretty
near.
much a 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to somehow shame this guy, I mean, my thing was I made the joke, but I'm serious about it. It's like when he first saw all these people dogging him, he should have said, "Yeah, you're right. I'm a bag boy, but I'm not, drugging women."
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't a bad
Well,
guy.
I mean,
wasn't he
come
working a
on.
register?
yeah, he was working
Well,
in the cash
I think
register.
he's a utility person.
But what gets me is that people will get dogged for being on unemployment and not having any work at all. They
Yeah.
get a lot of shit for that, and a lot of stigma with that. But now people are being dogged for having a job, but just not
Right.
being the ideal job that everyone thinks that they have.
Right.
Like how dare you ever shame anybody for working and doing what they have to do to pay the
Exactly.
bills?
Right. And,
I mean,
and by
it's-
the way, what's wrong with being a cashier or a bag person at fucking Trader
That's
Joe's?
what a lot of people are
And
What's
saying.
wrong with that?
It's
And
a
what
huge-
makes one think that he's not going to land some big role, something that's like, I mean, Kurt Warner was bagging groceries or stocking shelves
Well, that's
yeah,
what Terry Crews said too. He said
a
after
year
the
or
NFL,
two before he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
like after the NFL, Terry Crews said he swept floors and he would do it again if it
Right.
meant that he had. I mean, your bank account and your wallet doesn't care where the money comes from. You
Right.
you have money to support yourself or you don't,
Right.
and it's classism. It's what it is. Is people will think that less of you because however you make your money, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
it really is.
I live under the philosophy that whether you're a janitor sweeping floors or you're the CEO making $100 million a year, you are the same. You are.
Yeah.
The one man is no better than the other man and or woman.
Right.
Period.
But trust me,
you
there's
know,
a lot of people.
there-
I know y'all know too, but especially working in Starbucks, and there's so many people who really feel like they can just do and talk to people however they want just because they're not the one behind the
Listen,
register.
It is an elitist nation.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
there is no doubt about it. And I know I'm not one of those because I know I'm going to get hammered because I say elitist. Everybody's going to group me in, like, oh, yeah, he's a progressive, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I'm not going to get into politics about where I stand or don't stand. I will say I'm not into this 1%, 99% bullshit.
Yeah.
This is everybody has the same opportunity in this country,
Right.
which is
Exactly.
why I say everybody's equal. And no one job is more important or less important than another job. And no person is less important or more important than another.
Exactly.
We're all equal. No matter what you do in life, you're just as good or just as important as anybody else in life.
And also, a lot of jobs that people put down or think are just for slackers or people who don't try, I guarantee you that job is harder than you think.
Mm-hmm.
I dare anyone who thinks that job is easy or any other job, like working at McDonald's, working in a drive-thru, anything like that is easy and just for people who are lazy, give it a try.
Well,
Go work
more-
there for a week and see how your opinion changes.
well,
Right.
more than that, the job may not be that hard. It's dealing with the people.
Well,
that's
yeah,
difficult.
it's not the actual tasks that you have to do, but how many you have to do at one time
Right.
and how quickly, and
Exactly.
also
Right.
having people talk shit in your face the whole time.
That's the hardest
It's harder
part of the
than you
job.
think. I
Yeah.
guarantee it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really have much respect for Mr. Owens. I just think the way, first of all, he handled all of this was remarkable.
Yeah.
Because it could have been a whole lot different. He
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
gone on a wild tangent
Look,
and really
definitely.
gone
I mean, anyone who's savvy in this business is like, he could spin this into a whole thing. This person could have been doing him a favor, and
That's
in the
essentially
long
what
run.
it's turning
well,
into.
no, yeah, and well, in fact, Tyler Perry, who I'm sure all of our listeners are familiar with because we've got a shit ton of listeners in Atlanta. I know they're familiar with him. He offered him a job. Well, he said, "I'll put you on any one of my series."
These people were shaming
ridiculous.
and laughing at him and all, but at the end of the day, he's going to be the one that's smelling like a rose.
Right, and that's what makes me feel better about it is that this is a positive thing. It hurt my feelings to read that he had any shame or embarrassment about it at all when he first saw it come out, but I'm glad that it's not that way for him anymore, that so many people have come forward and said what we're saying, shame on you for shaming anybody for having a job and doing what it takes to keep food on the table and bills paid, and that it's going to be something positive for him that helps people remember, hey, we need to remember these working actors and not just assume that just because you've been on something popular means that you're set for the rest of your life. You still got to keep working just like everybody else.
And here's another thing. Commercial actors are some of the wealthiest actors in the world. Trader Joe's can use him as a face.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, they absolutely could. I mean,
it's
just, I mean, newsflash, 90% of working people in the entertainment industry have side jobs.
Yeah.
That's just fact.
Exactly.
I mean, we all have side jobs. We talk about it all the time. We all have multiple jobs.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, that's what you do.
It's just part of it.
So, I don't understand,
And while I'm on the air, I'd like to say that I really love the people at my employers.
So, Jeffrey... we would love to have Jeffrey on the show to talk about this because,
really
like I
would.
said, I have much respect for him. I thought the way he handled the entire situation. Shit, I'd love to have a representative from Trader Joe's on and let's talk about it.
Honestly.
I just want to ask him about how it was being on Sunny in Philadelphia. I think people forget. A lot of people forget
Donovan
how much
McNabb.
acting
That's
he's
what
done.
I'm saying. He's been on so much stuff, and recently,
exactly.
like he's a working actor.
Well, I just looked it up. He's got like 41 acting credits. Like,
he's not.
Busy.
He does a lot of voice work too.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad for him. Feel bad for yourself for being so closed-minded and ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. And well said. That is extremely well said. I mean, I think these people are just pathetic.
Yeah.
In every way, shape, and form, they are pathetic, the people who shamed him. And to all the people who came to his defense, while I'm sure he appreciated it, I'm not saying he didn't appreciate it, but I mean, and I'm pretty sure he felt like it wasn't necessary to defend him. But kudos to them who did, because, it shows that, thank God, there are decent people out there that who have morals and right from wrong and know.
He's been on Elementary and The Blacklist and Lucifer lately.
Yeah,
so he's been on some.
So
like
that's what I'm saying.
2-3 years.
So okay, kind of on this same topic, this same situation, because I just read this and I thought it was really interesting. We all know the current controversy with Dave Bautista, kind of going at Disney a little bit for firing James Gunn. And
he's got a reputation for this, though.
But here's the thing, though. He made a statement, and I kind of really have a lot of respect for it. He said, because people are saying, dude, you could get sued by Disney. You're walking away from tens of millions of dollars for the third film. You're doing all that. And he said, you know what? I don't care. I'm not about the money. I'd go wrestle in people's backyards for $5 and make a living that way if that's what I have to do, because I have a set of beliefs and a set of standards that I live by, and it's not money. And so this is how I feel about this situation. And if it costs me my job, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I respect the shit out of that.
Well, I mean,
whether I agree or disagree with how he feels about what happened with
Exactly.
James Gunn, I respect the shit out of the fact that this guy is willing to walk away
Stick to his
from a
guns.
multi-million-dollar payday for what he believes in.
He walked away from $1 million+ payday from WWE because he didn't like what they were doing with his character.
Exactly. The guy has standards, and he's willing to walk away from it for what he believes in, and I respect the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I think
he just returned to the brand and left like briefly after that.
Oh, shit.
I will miss his character if that's the way things go. If he ends up not coming back for the next one, I will miss him in the movies. But same thing. I understand why.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you would look at it within the canon thing, I mean, I guess there's a pretty much an open door for way out for him anyway. Thanos will be gone.
Well, in fact, that's already been hinted at. Apparently, a lot of people have been brought back, and Batista himself said he's been brought back.
Yeah.
He's currently shooting reshoots. Apparently, the Russo brothers are having to do some major work to Part 2 of Infinity War because of the situation with James Gunn.
I bet.
And the rumor is that a lot of people that maybe would have survived are no longer going to survive. And they're drastically having to reshoot and make some changes to the film.
Oh, man.
So, based on what happened with Gunn. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
But they're still using his script. He said he would stay. He would only leave if they weren't using his script.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's true anymore. He's been going back and forth with Disney pretty heated, and I'm not sure Disney's okay with him anymore.
Batista?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, oddly enough, too, in that same article, he also said that he had been back and forth with Disney countless times about pitching a solo movie for the character.
No
For
shit.
Drax.
And for Drax. And, he said he doesn't think it'll ever come to light, especially now, but that he had been pushing it, and apparently Gunn was behind it. So that would have been interesting because it's a great character.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, I
be
mean,
honest, it's a great character.
if you consider the fact that any acting that he's ever done has kind of been lower level compared to this, and I guess he just really has a loyalty to James Gunn for taking a chance on him, who's not very
Sure,
experienced.
that's why I said I respect the shit out of him for the way he thinks and the way he handles himself. Agree with him or not agree with him, but I respect the fact that he stands by what he believes in, and he's willing to give up things or make sacrifices for what he believes in, and that's a good thing. I mean, I think if you're going to live your life, that's the way to do it. Because sometimes you have to give up things for what you believe in. You don't compromise, and I respect the crap out of that. I really do.
Definitely.
Speaking of, maybe a franchise that may be in trouble.
Yeah.
The DC universe and Justice League and Man of Steel.
Honestly.
So, yeah, you want to tell them?
No. Do you want to tell them?
Damn. Okay. Hold on. Let me.
Because you're just on a rant, or you're just on a.
a rant.
Or you're on a.
I think it's hilarious that he's using the hands-free mic just so he can hold his wine.
Just so he can hold his wine. So for that,
yeah,
It might be
you
just
can
for that.
finish that.
It might be
because he hasn't put that wine
Thank
down.
you,
He
Apothic.
hasn't. Yeah. Thank you, Apothic.
All right. So
Moving on.
Want to be a
anyway,
sponsor for the show?
Yeah. Seriously. I love you. Like, seriously, this is great product.
I love you.
Come sponsor our show.
Marry
Come
me.
sponsor our show.
I
No,
love
not
you.
that. Not
What?
that
I
stuff.
love you.
That's creepy, bro.
Oh,
All right.
my
Anyway,
bad. I had a ring and everything.
Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah.
Henry
Yeah.
Cavill. You guys might know him as the Man of Steel. Apparently, he signed on for The Witcher on Netflix. And this is a pretty big commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking at least 10 or 13 episodes
Yeah,
right out the
exactly.
gun. And even shows that Netflix is iffy on usually get 2 or 3 seasons. So
But they have hiatuses,
they do, but you're talking...
They're not planning a Man of Steel sequel for years now.
No, that's apparently not true.
Oh.
Cavill was in the gym and even hinted to the fact, made a joke because he was wearing some sort of blue apparatus, and was like getting back into the shape, or so he made the joke. So either something happened between making that comment on Instagram to signing on to this thing, or The Witcher, or I think the DC extended universe is in trouble. I
do
think
too.
they're in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think Aquaman.
It's not called that anymore.
I don't think Aquaman is going to do anywhere near what they think it's going to do or what they
Same.
want it to do. I'm not hearing good stuff about it. So I think it's in trouble. And we all know that the one popular storyline that everybody wanted to see, they've canned.
Yeah.
Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So, and now they're doing like 18,412 different Joker movies.
Yeah. Exactly.
With 18,412 different Jokers.
Yeah. The
Like,
only one
what
that was
the
really
fuck?
successful was freaking Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. And
Man of Steel was successful, but it was the first
until
one.
they tried to shove him into Batman vs Superman and then
Yeah,
into
that
Justice
was
League in
awful.
about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
You got to build it. You got to build it, and they didn't build
Well,
it.
they're playing catch up, and that
Yeah,
was-
and you can't.
Yeah.
But so the question is, what's going to happen to this extended universe?
I have no idea.
I
Especially
think-
all the stuff that's going on with Affleck there.
Yeah.
With his
Yeah.
rehab shit.
Yeah, because now, and we still can't get a straight answer. Is he or is he not done
Yeah,
playing Batman?
exactly.
Nobody will give a straight answer.
No
but
one
I think the
knows.
studio is going to end up making that decision because apparently there are rumors now, and I feel bad for this. I
Yeah.
do. Because, it is a problem. It's an addiction. It is hereditary. Who knows what his family situation is
Right.
like or not like. But it's a problem, and I feel like I feel bad for him.
Wasn't
But-
he in rehab for gambling
but
once?
but apparently the studios are running into problems with, and I don't know anybody who's not familiar with how the industry works. When you work on a project, especially a film project worth $200 million budget, or you have to be bonded and you have to
Right.
be insured.
Right,
and all
right.
of these actors are insured in case anything happens to them during filming or whatever. Well, apparently
Just
a
look
lot
at-
of the studios
look
have
at
come
Robert
out
Downey
publicly
Jr.
and said they
Yeah.
just think that after this rehab stint and this latest problem for Ben, he might not be insurable.
Yeah.
And I'm
like
sorry,
Robert
but,
Downey Jr. wasn't for years.
I'm sorry, but any studio is not going to sign him for a gig if they
Yeah.
can't insure him, because if he, God forbid, goes on a binge
exactly.
and walks away and something happens and they have to shut down production, there's nothing to stop the money gap.
Exactly.
And I mean, so I think he might be in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have to see the end of.
What is he in rehab for? I didn't even know he was in rehab.
Alcoholism.
Alcohol.
Like
okay.
hardcore.
Okay.
Apparently, he had fallen off the wagon and was like.
Was that what? I mean, that's all hearsay. It's like, would that be one of the reasons? I guess he's not married to Jennifer Garner.
No, he
anymore.
is still married to Jennifer Garner.
I thought he wasn't.
He is. The divorce.
They're separated,
They
though, right?
and
Separated,
the divorce papers were all drawn up, but she refused to sign them.
Oh, okay.
And it was because of custody.
Right,
She refused to agree to a custody agreement until she was sure that he was able to share custody.
Oh, okay.
And apparently somebody took a picture of him with a delivery guy coming up, and there was some video, and he snagged the box like aggressively away from the delivery guy, and it was a box of alcohol that had been delivered. And apparently that was the last straw. Jennifer saw that and immediately drove over there and basically said, "Get the fuck in the car. We're going to rehab. You're done." And like, there's pictures of it everywhere.
Well,
I'm sure
I
everybody's seen it
I
at
know
this
he
point, but-
he had a gambling problem with rehab for that too.
No, apparently this is just alcohol.
No, I know. I mean, in the past he had a
And
gambling
apparently
problem.
there was no problem. He basically broke down and admitted to her that he knows he's in trouble and that he's not going to fight her on it and whatever. And then so apparently now the divorce has been settled upon the successful rehab and him coming out.
Yeah.
The whole reason it's been in delay for as long as it was in delay is because she refused to give joint custody if he wasn't going to be able to be a responsible father taking care with the alcohol problems. So kudos to her for that and for fighting to make sure. She never at any point wanted to deny him being a father. That's why she never said, "Fine, I'm just going for sole custody.
Yeah.
Go away." She never wanted to deny him being a father or being in their lives. She just didn't want to make it to where he couldn't do it properly and put them in danger. So kudos to her, and hopefully he is able to come out of this. I mean, I'm pulling for like a Robert Downey Jr. type turnaround.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he can do that, and we'll see.
Yeah,
but
hopefully. Well, I'm looking at a TMZ thing right now, and I guess he's been in and out, apparently. He's been spotted going home and coming back in of rehab, and this picture of him looks pretty rough, so.
It was like an outpatient deal?
That's the question. Is it an outpatient? Because from what I understood,
it might be.
It was not. So that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
He doesn't look good.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But much
looks a little
respect
rough.
to Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because we have a guest coming on for Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
Peppermint.
Yes.
She's about her new movie opens this weekend. Peppermint. One of our guests stars in that with her, so I'm
Hell
really
yeah.
excited. But much respect for her. It's not an easy thing to do to be in love with somebody that's got major problems and denies the problems and or can't fight off the problems. It's a hard thing to do. And she's put her own career on hold for decades, basically. When she became a mom, she kind of stepped back, and he kind of didn't want her to work and be the mom. And it's I don't know. She's just much respect to her. It's not a strong thing. So back to Henry Cavill. First of all, I think he's going to be amazing in Witcher.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
This is where all this started.
He was really good in
that
Mission Impossible
R-rated
too.
game?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, is it based off a video game?
I believe it is.
It's that R-rated game, that online game.
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Interesting.
Kevin plays that.
That's
I'm a huge fan of Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I think he's a phenomenal actor. I thought everything I've seen him in, he's great.
Yeah.
So I think this is.
I haven't
gonna be
seen
a hit.
Immortals.
It's good.
The Immortals.
good.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
a
good.
name? The
I think it's going to be a huge hit, and I think he's done playing Superman. In my opinion, I think he's done.
Well, I mean, there were other things were clearly more of a priority over Superman anyway, because even Mission Impossible, that's why he refused to shave his mustache, and they had to like CGI it out for
That's what I'm
Superman.
saying. In this character, he's like full out, all decked out, beard and long hair.
Right.
Yeah.
And if he goes all natural with that, like they wouldn't let him shave the mustache. You
Yeah.
think they're gonna let him shave all that? Be like, nah.
Yeah.
And you can't CGI that.
Yeah.
The
Right.
mustache looked bad enough. You
Yeah.
can't give him the whole beard.
So I
That'd be
mean,
really bad.
Superman's
I
clearly
think
not
so.
his most top priority anyway.
Listen, I think if you want to save the DC universe and actually compete with Marvel,
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is film number 1.
Yeah.
Now start to build around it. And 10
Should they
years
just
from now,
scrap everything
you might
else?
have it. You might have a successful kick-ass universe
Yeah.
that you can build around.
When they renamed the DCEU to, I think, the world of DC or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like I think their intention was just they were basically that was their reboot. They were basically they're gonna make it where it's a multiverse.
Yeah,
type deal.
Wonder Woman is the key.
Yeah.
Just start there and build around Wonder Woman, and they're going to be okay. In my opinion, they already have a DC universe that can compete with Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's on the television side.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
freaking perfect. It's the perfect DC universe. And now they're adding to it with the Titans and Doom Patrol and Stargirl
I can't wait for Titans.
and like all these different things. By the way, Berlanti's behind all of them.
Yeah.
He is the key. I think if you want to fix the movie side, put Berlanti in charge.
And
let him
your
bring
TV characters.
bring the characters into the movie side, and done. You can compete with Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
But unless Berlanti is in charge, and unless you follow along with what he's done so successfully, by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say this.
Say it.
Yeah. Well, last week, as you guys know, I listed Autumn Reeser as one of my favorite actresses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say there's a huge campaign going on right now because they announced in the crossover, Lois Lane is going to be in the Arrowverse, and she's going to be in this crossover. She's perfect.
Yeah.
Berlanti, if you're listening to me, buddy, Autumn Reeser.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans that are like...
He already hired her for No Ordinary Family. He knows she's got superhero creds.
Yeah.
He's worked with her before. She's phenomenal. She's perfect for fucking Lois Lane. She's perfect for Lois
If
Lane.
Berlanti's already got his hands full with the television projects, I think that if they should have kept Jeff Johns on as creative, and they basically they took Jeff Johns off, I guess, because he was butting heads with all the filmmakers. They need filmmakers that want to work with Jeff Johns because he knows the books better than they do.
That's what I'm saying. Berlanti is the man. Nobody has a problem with Berlanti, and he clearly has a passion for these characters.
Apparently, Warner Brothers Pictures do. They don't want him working on their films.
That's not true. He's currently working on a Booster Gold film for them. Yeah,
I mean, but they don't.
And he just made them a shit ton of money off of his Love, Simon film or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly proven himself at the box office as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think
you're right. Then why don't they give him the keys to that?
Exactly. Maybe because they think he's too busy. I mean, he is. What's he got? Like 37 shows.
Yeah, on like all the networks.
He's like
and
on
shit.
every. He's the first producer to ever have a current show on every single network and online. It's like crazy.
Yeah. It really is.
So, but yeah, that's the secret. That's all I'm saying.
Hell yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And can we just talk about a little bit of stuff that came out on Wednesday?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Brie Larson. First officials of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that's
oh my
very
God,
exciting.
It looked epic.
Yeah.
It looked absolutely epic.
I love Brie Larson.
And me too. And the scroll. They just released all these pictures, so I'm fairly certain. And you guys know we pre-record this, so maybe it already hit. But I'm fairly certain a trailer's coming.
Yeah.
Got to see the trailer.
Can't
And by the
wait.
way, one more thing, because we're getting really close to having to call our first guest. But can we just talk about, and I'm not talking about Quentin Tarantino's. There's another Charles Manson movie coming out.
Oh, is there?
And if you're a fan of The Crown,
Yeah.
Matt Smith,
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Who we just talked about is going to be in Star Wars, too.
In Star Wars. He's playing Manson, and holy shit.
Yeah.
He
Looks
looked
like him.
freaking awesome. He looked like insane, crazy. And the kudos to the makeup and hair people because he looked just like Manson.
Yeah.
No way you would be able to tell this is Matt Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brilliant. Talk about looking forward to. I mean, and the trailer was epic. It looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
So really excited about that. So if you guys are Matt Smith fans, that's coming up.
Hell yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay. So J-Lo, because
J-Lo.
I've been talking.
Have you?
Yeah, I have been. I might be a little tipsy. It's
Really?
okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Apothic Brew, strong as shit. It's
Strong
good
as
stuff.
shit.
It is really good
How
stuff.
many commercials have we done for this thing?
That's the third one, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's like 3 mid-roll spots. So, you know.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we should just contact
This
him real
guy,
quick.
okay.
Just send us a check.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about this for a second before we call him, though. James Dumont.
Is
James
he
K. Dumont.
based
Yes.
out of New Orleans? Is this,
Well, he's living in New Orleans.
no, nice.
Yeah. This guy, you might not recognize the name
Oh,
but
you've seen him.
You've seen him.
Yeah.
Because he's been in just about everything.
Yeah.
You can
I've seen him in
possibly
dozens
think
of things before I met him, and now I go back and I see he's like, wait, it's James.
There you go, shit.
Yeah, I mean, like seriously though, and not just. I mean, he's television and film.
Yeah.
and like in some huge things,
Yeah.
like Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, exactly.
Get On Up.
I want to talk to him a little bit about his relationship with Jared Leto.
Oh,
because
definitely.
Didn't he like thank
Definitely.
him for it?
What I like though so much about James, and if you guys are fans of Bourbon Bay Radio, where this show airs, and that show with those guys, you've probably heard an interview with they've interviewed James before.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just so real.
Yeah, he really
Oh,
is.
yeah,
He-
he's a real.
He's a working guy,
Yeah.
and he
From Chicago.
Yeah, and he lays it down. He tells you this is what acting really
Yeah.
is. This is how it really, So I'd be curious. I want to hear his take on the Jeffrey Owens thing. I think that'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
like a
And
phenomenal.
he's a damn
thing.
good acting coach.
You know,
too.
he's
Hell
yeah, and you can talk to him a little bit about that because you were a student of his.
I hope he remembers me.
So,
Yeah.
No, I hope he remembers me from that. I know he probably remembers me from.
but yeah, Dallas. So yeah, because Jared Leto. I mean, yeah, they have a relationship. Apparently, they've partied.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
good. If you guys don't know, they were in Dallas Buyers Club
Yeah.
together, and apparently they like to party together.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really cool. Yeah, and then television. I mean, American Horror Story, NCIS New Orleans, Halt and Catch.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, he's been in like everything.
Exactly. Stranger
Deep-
Things.
Deepwater
That shit.
Horizon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Deepwater Horizon.
When the game stands
Patriot.
tall.
The Patriot.
He was in Speed. He was
Yeah,
younger.
Patriots Day. Exactly. It's a lot of stuff.
He got,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he was. Think he was the guy that one of the worker guy that Dennis Hopper killed in Speed.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
when he was
No,
younger.
that might be right.
No, he told me about it last time I talked to him.
There you go.
He said it was in Speed.
So we're really excited to talk about him. You know, he's got a plethora of experience and a resume that's hard to beat. I think,
Hell
and yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to talk about him, and we'll give him a ring here in just a minute.
A ring-a-ding-ding.
A ring a ding ding. But so yeah, we're pretty excited about James, and like I said,
He'd be a great guest to have for the live show when
I
we
think
go
so, because
live in
if
New
you guys
Orleans.
don't know, we're talking about doing a live
Yeah.
show from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And James is currently living in New Orleans. And I think it would be a pretty epic
Yeah, to be
pretty
honest.
epic show.
Yeah,
'cause-
we're still looking for a restaurant or bar to hold that. So any of our New Orleans listeners, we want to reach out and possibly host our podcast there for a night. That would be pretty awesome. We'd have some live guests, live entertainment. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah, exactly.
The crazy ants invade New Orleans.
Yeah,
I mean,
Like,
look out.
live guests. We want to get
I'm
who
kind of
else
already
we say?
there. But
Like Sophie Howell. Yeah.
would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we get Sophie and we get James,
Yeah.
they are kind of tight with the man, the myth, the legend himself. Maybe we drag
Oh,
him down
shit.
from the Big Apple.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get
Is
Clint
Trailer
down
Park
into New Orleans.
Is Trailer
right?
Park Shark gonna start shooting again? Like,
We'll
like what's up?
We'll do a recreation right there
Yeah,
in the bar. That'll
boom.
be fantastic. Like that would be pretty epic.
That would be
a
pretty.
reenactment of Trailer Park Shark.
That's right. That's right.
That'd be funny as shit. Here's your sock. Go back to one of our
That's right.
earliest
if you haven't
episodes.
listened to our interview with Clint James and you have no idea what we're talking about with the sock,
Yes.
you're gonna want to go back on iTunes and or Google Play Music.
Yes.
Find the show with Clint James, and give that a listen. 'cause
Yes.
The sock story alone is worth it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth
And
it.
something else, just to say it, because might as well, since we're plugging everything. Make sure to go follow us everywhere. And when you're on the Apple Podcast app or the Google Play Music app, make sure to give us 5 stars, rate us. Make sure to leave a little comment. Tell us what you think, what we need to improve on, anything like that. Because, we're always trying to grow in this industry that's ever longing, growing, whatever.
Longing.
Yes.
Longing.
Ever longing.
Ever longing, growing.
This industry is longing for us.
It is
It
longing.
I would like to point out that Logan has not had any wine.
No. No. Leaves are the answer, bro. Leaves are the answer.
Or the times of our life.
Yes.
Look, so this might be the feel-good episode of the show so far.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
To be honest.
It
It's
might be the
definitely
feel-good
feel
episode.
good for Dustin.
Yeah.
And it's about to feel better because I'm about to have another glass of Apothic Brew.
Apothic.
All right, here we
Four
go.
times. Four times.
Let's call him. Let's call Mr. Dumont.
Mr. James Dumont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Is this James Dumont?
What's going on?
You
This is Jason.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, y'all?
Oh.
you know, we're just being crazy like we do.
Welcome to the Crazy Ant Farm.
Right. Expect nothing less.
That's right. So you survived Gordon, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was brutal.
Oh yeah, it was
so
terrifying.
brutal.
Over here.
Sunshine, blue skies.
One of the most sunny days I've seen in Louisiana, and the warm. You knew there was a storm coming because you could feel the warm heat.
Right.
Like there's the wind that goes through, but this is like a heated wind. So
Yeah.
nothing's happening.
Right.
And it's like a beautiful sunny day, so really nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on now.
Yeah, it was same over here in Mississippi, and
Hell yeah.
actually we're making fun because today, while we're recording the show right now, it's been epic storming.
Yeah.
We've seen more rain and thunder and lightning today than anything we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, pretty funny. Now we're getting the feeder bands, so you know.
Never forget Tropical
Right.
Storm Gordon. There was a leaf I saw on the ground.
All right.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, thanks so much for joining us,
Hell
man.
yeah.
We're really excited about this interview, and really excited to have you on as a guest. We were just telling our listeners, you know, for anybody who's fans with that show with those guys in Bourbon Bay Radio, you know, you interview with them, and I listened in on your most recent interview with them, and I was just impressed as hell. The way you approach things and how real you are, I was really impressed, and I was excited to get you on the show and talk to you about the way you approach your craft and how you go about handling yourself and the way you carry yourself in this crazy industry.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so okay, so for our listeners who might not be familiar with you, and like we said, you might not know his name, but you've seen his face, and you've been in
That's
it
the
like
plan.
just about everything. So why don't you give him a little bit of a background on you?
Aren't you that guy?
Yeah, that guy,
Like
exactly.
one guy.
So how did you get started in the industry? Because you've been in it for quite a while now.
Yeah, I was. I grew up in Chicago, so I was a kid actor in Chicago. Did a few things in high school. My school had a lot of really amazing kind of people in it. You know, Cusack was the year behind me, and then Jeremy Piven was my year, and then Joni Cusack was a couple years older.
Oh
Wow.
There was already a theater. You know, there were already people working in film in Chicago. You know, when I was in high school, so.
The Hughes
You know,
people.
Cusack was working already while we were all in school. So, you know, and I had the bug before that, just kind of doing theater as
Yeah.
a kid. And, you know, just as a way to kind of I remember my mom telling me this story when I was real little, that it was the first season of Sesame Street. That's how old I am. And I remember looking at the TV and I just turned to her. I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Like what? I was like, I want to be on that. I want to be on TV.
Hell
When
yeah.
I was really little.
God,
So
that's kind of how I
was
went.
just kind of she's like, you do? It's like, then, you know, next thing you know, I'm doing modeling and then doing commercials and stuff as a kid. And then I did a lot of extra work when I first started out. I did Risky Business as an extra. I did, pretty much as an extra. And then Blues Brothers, I was an extra. But then
Oh, nice.
there was an opportunity to do a whole dancing scene. They wanted people to know how to dance, and so I knew how to dance, and so we did the whole dancing scene. You know, with Ray Charles, you know, dancing in the streets. So
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Shake a tail
So
feather.
Yeah.
that was the first kind of big thing where I was like, okay, now I got this SAG card that I was supposed to get, and you know, I've kind of had it ever since. And then I stopped a little bit, played a little baseball in high school, auditioned for lots of stuff, and then I got into college and went to school in Boston.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, there you go.
okay. First of all, can there be a more epic way to get the SAG card?
Right. Like shit.
That's a pretty.
Yeah, it was kind of great. I went from my uncle was the head of the CTA transcripts for special events, and so I was on I was one of the passengers on the train on that.
Oh, okay.
And then someone had said they were doing dance auditions next week for the scenes they were going to do on the train platform. So I went from being on the platform to down on the street. So it was you know, it's that story that everybody's like, oh, you want to, you know, some people do extra work in the hopes that they get upgraded to get a line.
Right.
Well, that was my, you know, that was the situation for me. And so yeah, it worked out pretty great. And there's this one, I'm on the whole dance sequence where there's one little section that I keep showing to my family and stuff. And then that got me, you know, at that point you do commercials for a little while. and you're called Taft-Hartley lead, and then you have to like join the union. You're a must join.
Right.
And at that point, I was a must join, so I was like, okay, now I'm doing movies, so I'm just gonna, but it didn't mean that I was working for like quite a good while. I had a small part in the movie Class with Rob Lowe and Andrew McCarthy that got cut out.
Yeah, and that's Jacqueline Bisset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And really not like a movie. It was a movie of the week that I did early on, and then it wasn't until when I got to school in Boston, I went to BU on a theater scholarship, and started again. They were just immersed in theater for the first 2 years. So then after that, I went to New York and I started working in New York.
Awesome.
Doing mostly theater, like a lot of theater. I did tons of. It was not uncommon at that point in time for an actor to be doing live readings of plays, of young playwrights' plays, 3-4 times a week. I mean, I would see a group of people that are all kind of like, now these playwrights are all television producers and creators of shows, and we used to do a lot of their. Alan Ball was one of the playwrights, and he did 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
Craig Lucas. God, the list kind of goes on. Pretty much almost every writer that was on HBO in the last 20 years was a former playwright in New York. So there was a time where us actors would just kind of go, from reading to reading. It was just a way to keep your skills sharp. The modern day equivalent of that now is the self-tape auditions.
Right.
So the way to kind of keep sharp is just by having real auditions that you put on tape. But in the back of the day, it was just like you had to, there was no cell phones, and you had to have change in your pocket to call into to your answering service, or you had a beeper,
right?
Or you had an answer machine that would beep you when there was a message. So, you just had to wait for the call. But while you were waiting, you were really kind of working your craft. So I was involved with Ensemble Studio Theater, which had like David Mamet as a theater member, as a playwright member, and some of his early plays. John Patrick Shanley.
Wow.
Wendy Wasserstein, these are like playwrights from the, mid '80s or
yeah,
90s.
Right. Yeah.
That so you would do their plays. That's how you kept your skills sharp, and from that you'd get plays, and agents would be there, and cast directors would show up, because in those days cast directors would be out looking for people.
Right.
That was the kind of reverse of these days, which is they're trying to avoid actors. Because there's just so many of them. They're just like better to have it electronically and keep it at distance. But those days, casting directors and agents were out 3-4 times a week watching their clients and various things. So that was a way in which that I got my first kind of agent that way, which was, as I was able to really kind of be doing a play with somebody else who had an agent, and that agent came to the show, and that's how I got my first agent in New York.
Right, and that's fantastic. Just I love the theatrical background, and that you come from theater, because we've had several guests on the show who started in theater, and they all talk about how they wouldn't have had it any other way. That the experience that they gained from there, and what it led to as film and television, was invaluable. Just hearing you talk, and the way you say you approached, keeping your craft and doing the reads and the different things, you can tell. Do you find yourself going back and doing a lot of theater now that you've seen a lot of success in film and television? Is it something that you still enjoy doing, or? Oh
God, I would love to do it more than anything. It just becomes a financial and time responsibility.
Right.
I'm the breadwinner of a family of 4,
Right.
So it's like, so film and television are my ways of making money. So I can't afford the ability to like not do a TV show or a movie in order to rehearse for 6 weeks and put up a play.
Right.
So that's the biggest challenge for me, is that, if I nail a series or something like that, or, some big movie where I'm working multiple weeks, then I'd have a little bit of a nest egg in order to kind of put some time aside. There's a couple of plays there's a play that I produced in LA that I've been dying to do in the South, which is about sports gamblers, about guys that bet on college football. And that's the kind of play that if I were to put it up at like a casino,
right,
it would never close. It would just never. It's like Bleacher Bums, but for football.
Yeah.
And it's these two guys and a girl, and 2 guys and the unlucky girl that's in the middle of their lives. And it's just a great comedy, and we thought we would just run it for like 6 weeks in L.A. We ran for 6 months. And
there you
6
go.
months theater in L.A. was like unheard of,
Yeah.
So that's a play that's something that I've been, my wife has been bothering me about. Why don't you do that? Serious games. I'm like, yeah, I don't get around to it. And I just don't. So I mean, that's something that I would probably pursue, but I'd probably produce that and put together 3 or 4 different casts.
Yeah.
In order to make it, keep the show running in case. Because the challenge we had in LA is that the same thing here is that all the actors that I've been working with in theater, they work a lot in commercials in LA, but they worked a lot in television as well. So we had 3 full casts of that play in order to kind of switch people around. So it became a little bit hard to kind of organize rehearsals and pick up rehearsals to do it. But in that 6 months time, I mean, we went through all 3 casts of either replacing people or we didn't want to cancel the show.
Yeah, I bet.
So I think that that's something that I would probably look into here in the South, just because I know this playwright's from New Orleans. I know this play would be a huge hit here. But that'd be like the only thing that I would be excited about kind of doing. For me, locking up that time period when it's fall episodic season and I'm on a series that'll start back up in January. So it's like that window of time to do it, is just very small.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, the iron might be hot right now, though, James. I'm just going to go along with the wife here and say a little bit, with the whole passing of the sports book, in the casinos. I know not so much in Louisiana yet, but, boy, I tell you what, it'd go over huge here, I think.
I think they're trying to make it legal in Louisiana.
What I figured if this was like, if I were to do it right and put it in a place, I call it jock theater. This is the kind of theater where like a girl would go and they're like, yeah, I never thought I'd be into this thing, but it's really good, because there's a girl character in the thing, but it's like, guys in football. It's just like that's never going to not go out of style, particularly in the South, and gambling, So it's got a good edge. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to put together some readings of it and see if we get some people behind it.
Awesome,
one step at a time. But, I keep saying that I've been here 3 years now, full time, and so it still hasn't happened.
Well, I have confidence it will, and when it does, let us know, because we will help promote it and push it and get behind it. Absolutely. Yeah. So when you say been here for 3 years, for our listeners, you're talking about New Orleans, correct?
Yeah, I relocated about 3 years ago full time. I've been going back and forth. My wife is originally from Baton Rouge, so we got lots of family here. So we've been wanting to move back, for a good while. I just, if it wasn't for Deepwater Horizon, that gave me 12 weeks of work where I knew that I would be having, consistent employment enough to kind of make, rationalize the move.
Right.
My daughter got into NOCA. My son got into a school that's a feeder school for Jesuit high school. So,
nice.
It's just like, it was kind of time for us to kind of, LA, we'd done our, ran the course in LA, had a nice house, and sold it so that we're able to kind of have a little bit better life here in Louisiana.
Right. Well, congratulations on that. I mean, I think that's great. I think we've had several guests say that you've got to kind of pay your dues and make it through LA and then kind of go where you want to go.
Yeah, right. I mean, you don't have to, pretty much, don't have to live in LA to be if you've already paid your dues. You can do
you
it
just
got
to kind of go through there and get where you want to go. So congrats to that, though. That sounds fantastic. And hey, New Orleans is picking back up again.
And now I work a lot more on the East Coast than I did before.
You're just out in Baltimore, right?
It's like New York never really kind of considered you for opportunities because you were LA.
Right.
But now that I'm in New Orleans, which is 3 hours from LA and 3 hours from New York, and 1 hour from Atlanta, I'm kind of in the right spot for whatever I need to do. So I've worked both in New York and in LA. The irony is, after a year of being here, I booked a big miniseries back in LA for the Law and Order, Menendez.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
yeah.
I guess I had to leave LA in order to get, to get 6 episodes on the series. I guess I had to leave.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those kind of like, I think, and I said it before for younger actors. I think, everybody feels like you got to be in LA or you got to be in New York, and that's just not the case. Atlanta's just fine. New Orleans is just fine. I think the thing that people really because I started to coach, which I've never done before. I started coaching and teaching about 3 years ago.
That's how we met.
I have a lot of young actors that I kind of mentor and help and really get their on-camera skills competitive for whatever market, But I think the thing that people happens is they do one job on NCIS New Orleans, and they're like, I'm ready to go to LA. And I'm like, look, no one is going to care about cop number one.
Right.
It's like why leave here where you're one of like 25 young actors that everybody likes, then go there and be, 250,000 actors in your age group,
being a small fish in a small pond rather than
there. So I always say to young actors, I'm like, don't leave one market until you've really dominated that.
Right.
And then go on to the bigger markets. I mean, until you're the guy that walks into every audition in Atlanta and Louisiana, or even New York, you go, until you're the guy that's booked every other job that there is to be had in that area. That's when you leave. But until you're that person, or let them call you. Let them. Few of the actors that I know that have done so well are because they were being pursued by managers and agents in Los Angeles or New York.
Right.
They were coming looking for them. And I go back to the Dakota Fanning story, which is Dakota Fanning, stayed in high school all in Atlanta, all while she was a movie star.
Yeah.
She never left. Her, and Elle didn't leave until she was done with high school. So it was like the Fanning still lived and worked in Atlanta, but she just worked all over on movies. So
right.
I just feel like until they're calling you, there's really no reason to kind of go there. I know there's a time and window where, if you're 18 to 24 in terms of the type of characters, that's a place for you. But there's already people already there, and they're not making a living, and they're struggling, and the cost of living is extremely expensive in LA now, more so than it ever has been before. So I feel like until you're the person that's got recurring role on a network series, or you've been in a major film, really nice role on a studio movie, or lead an independent, when you have those kind of like under your belt, and you have real solid representation that's hungry and excited about working with you, that's the time to go. But until then, this is a great place for you to really do as I did when I was younger, which is, I did readings everywhere. I'd show up to the opening of an envelope. That's how hungry and excited and desperate I was, And so I feel like, that same kind of excitement, enthusiasm, and now there's a time where people create their own projects. So
definitely,
you can shoot a feature film, you can do a web series, you can do your own television series. I shot my own show recently, and that never did that before.
Yeah.
So I think it's a time now where until they're looking for you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's no reason to leave. Dominate one market before you go on to the next one.
And see, I think that's just fantastic advice. It's like I said, it's one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on the show, because it's real. You just lay it out and you say how it is. And I think that's invaluable advice for people who are listening to the show trying to crack into
definitely.
the industry, who think that it's not possible. And not only are you saying it's possible, but you're telling them how to do it. And I think it's fantastic advice. I like your approach. And I think it's the way you've been able to build a career by the way that you think shows that you can have a successful career over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And make a living doing it the way you're doing it. And so much respect for you and how you've been able to do it. I think it's fantastic, and I'm glad our listeners are hearing it.
Are you still coaching?
Yeah, I still coach. I do an on-camera workout 3 times a week when I'm not working.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Actors bring in material, and I kind of get them sharp on camera and give them notes and adjustments. And then the big thing is we watch playback, and playback's really where you learn. If you don't know you're not doing something, or you got this little tick in your eyebrow, or you raise your eyebrows a lot, or your eye lines are outside of the frame, it's like if no one's showing you that, you're never going to get better. And I think, unlike when you're doing theater, you do it live, and the audience tells you whether you suck or not.
Yes.
Right.
So it's like, but I mean, when it comes to film or television, it's like you have the luxury of playback to really kind of learn and see what changes and adjustments. So it becomes very empowering. So for me, I feel like, I'm creating this kind of class that, and I've done it in New York, and I've done it in Atlanta and Chicago, and did it up in Boston when I was working up there. I just, find 6 to 8 people who are really hungry to kind of learn the craft of how to work within the, act within the context of the frame and really prepare for auditions, because now we're at this time where, you can shoot audition, you can live one place and shoot and work somewhere else.
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
So it's like, it all comes down to crafting, and it's important to know how to act, because then I can really kind of help you, as opposed to I'm not an acting teacher. You know what I mean? I can't teach you how to act.
Right.
Well, I
I can teach
mean,
you what I do, but I can teach you what to act and what's applicable for an audition. I think that's what's different. Is that I myself.
You're an excellent coach, if I recall.
2-3 times a week, so I'm showing you, techniques and skills that I use myself in real time. It's not like I'm trying to rope you into a class for 6 to 8 weeks and, you know what I mean, fill you up with philosophy. I'm actually filling you up with, knowledge and real things that I use myself.
Well,
so it's a little bit different in that regard than your basic acting class or an on-camera class.
Absolutely,
is that it's a workout. You know what I mean? You go. I'm a coach. I'm not really. I have things to teach people, but I'm not a teacher per se. I don't coach from opportunity and what my experience is.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember. That's how we met. I know we've met other places, but a friend of mine, Nuruddin DeBose, brought me to your class once, and I think the only thing I think you remember one thing, you just had a problem with my eye line, so you gave me. So you're an excellent coach. I do remember that, and so I would really endorse you for that. But I was just curious if you were still doing it.
I think it's in crafting.
Right.
You're not going to out-fame somebody, and you're not going to out-cue them in terms of or visibility or or influence or social media influence. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to alter or change that.
Right.
What you can do is you can outcraft somebody. You can't out-fame them, you can't out-age them, but you can outcraft them. And so I think it just comes down to, and I do remember you coming in, and that's what it is. Like, no one. There's a lot of people who do these self-tapes that, they're in the taping business, so it's about turnaround. It's not about trying to coach them or get better.
Right.
It's about, when I'm done with you, I got 5 other people behind you, Like, you want to do it again? Like, that's the only note. Like, that's not, like, your friend could do, a monkey could do that, But I feel like when you're really giving somebody, like, tools and techniques and things to remember for this one and for the next one, then things kind of get progressively better. And you start to see that the caliber and the quality. Like, I just coached a well-known actor here in New Orleans who works a lot and everybody knows him, but he's was up for a big thing, and Lance had coached him on his first audition, and then we got notes and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I see what happened. I see the audition. I see what the notes are. These are the things I would fine tune and change. And of course, boom, he got the job. The big one. So it's like, and you have to know that even the people at the top level, like Tiger Woods has a coach. I mean,
Absolutely. Exactly.
It's Serena Williams has a coach. And now that we're Labor Day weekend, so it's past. But my point is that, even at the top levels of people have coaches, and I know it's hard and expensive, but I also feel like, no deposit, no return. If you don't put in the time and energy, like a brand new kid, new to the business, was brought to me, and he's like, I really want it. I'm really hungry. And I was like, okay, well, come to class. He drives in from Lafayette to my class in New Orleans and shows up there for 3 hours and drives on back.
There you go.
He kept doing it, and then finally he gets his first live audition. He goes in, and today he called, said he got called back. And I'm like, of course you did. I was like, he goes, well, what do I do in the callback? I said, the same thing we do in session. You're going to get notes or adjustments. You take those notes and adjustments, and you deliver them. That's it.
Yep.
Just like you would do on set.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a guy that's brand new to the business and has already gone from, but he was praising me, but I was like, you don't just praise me. You're the one that drove in. You're the one that spent the time, money, and energy to invest in wanting to do this, and you're hungry and you want it. And so, rather than feel entitled because there's tax credits here or that there's lots of opportunities and they'll just keep coming. I think his general philosophy was, I just want to get a little bit better. And I think that little germ or seed of somebody wanting to get just a little bit better than they were yesterday or the day before.
Right.
That's gold for me because I can help you.
Absolutely.
But I feel like there is a little bit of entitlement when it comes to all the business has been here for over a decade now. I think a lot of people take that for granted,
right?
And they don't realize that people are leaving wherever they are and going to Atlanta. There's more competition now, and that you have to be as good as the people in LA or New York. It becomes down to economics. It's like you have to be just as strong as those larger markets. So, for me and my mentor is a guy named Tim Phillips who is kind of an audition guru for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 10 years working with him, on 50 booked jobs.
Wow.
So. Even and he's in Atlanta now. So now my teacher, so I turn to my students. I'm like, you guys got to get better because my teacher
Right, like,
is in Atlanta. So
Yeah.
it's like the boss's boss. You know what I mean? But I was like, so I mean, y'all got to get. I understand. People work 2-3 jobs and it's hard to invest and it's hard to pay back. But if you get that, the hard thing to understand is if you get that audition. This is your best acting opportunity. This is the acting job you have this week.
Absolutely.
And so,
treat everything like
it's a way to drop everything and be ready and just do your best.
Yep.
Treat everything like
Audition for your
it's an
career,
award-winning
not the
role.
job. That's the name of Tim's book, and it's like that's what it's about. That's how I've been able to survive after all these years. I've watched tons of very talented, much more talented than me people leave the business. Because of the business, they got really good at doing this one thing, and then that one thing was no longer interesting. 90210 hunky good look was like that's not enough.
Yeah.
And
that.
So
that, James, is a great point. First of all, let me just say, I love the terminology because you hear acting coach all the time, but then you listen to these people talk, and it's more like they're a talent scout or a talent. Listen, you either have talent or you don't. That's just it.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Coaching is the great terminology because you can coach talent. You can't teach talent, but you can coach talent.
Right.
Like you said, you can give them the tools to succeed or not succeed. So I love the fact that
you don't know how to
that.
use that tool. That it doesn't. It's pointless. That's why I say to people, I'm like, you come to me when you know how to act.
Exactly.
I can't teach you how to act.
Right.
That's for another teacher,
Brilliantly
and
put.
there are great ones here and other places.
Right.
But it's like what to act and how to make it applicable for on-camera work.
Yes.
I'll go up against anybody in this region in that regard.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm doing it myself. It's not like I'm not giving you somebody else's philosophy.
Well, exactly.
These are tools that I use myself to get work.
And very successful.
Yeah, and been successful for, decades. And what I love is what you just said, though. Like if somebody gets relaxed or comfortable and they fall into this niche of this is what they do, and then what they do is no longer wanted. So I love the approach that you take about, no, you have to be able to do this and this and this and this and be able to use those tools to go after more than one thing. Because I think you're right. I think we've seen a lot of people come and go where they just get comfortable in what they're able to do and never grow. And then, like, what they're able to do is no longer necessary, and they're gone. And I love the fact that you bring that up and are real about that because I agree with you. I think we've seen a lot of talented people fall by the wayside because they were stuck in one mode. And that's a great
exactly
point.
Right.
That is a great point.
And, even and I'm not saying these things as even philosophically for myself. These are things that I really apply to myself. Like, I've had to rebrand and I have to work. My representation has to re-educate other casting directors that saw me early in my career where I was green and I was not able to craft out my audition.
Right.
And never gone back there for like 10 years. So it's like, even at my level, like I learned this thing from Henry Winkler. It's a hustle at every level.
Exactly.
It's a hustle at every level. And I had this hilarious thing happen where Henry Winkler handed me I met him and I'm like, oh my God, it's the Fonz, fucking Yale graduate, the Fonz. I mean, like, I'm meeting the Fonz. He hands me a card, and on the back of the card, it's like, please watch my show Tuesdays on CBS. And I'm like, wait, I just got solicited by the Fonz.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He owns the rights to the MacGyver series. He was the
Wow.
Fonz. He's a Yale graduate. And here he is pitching and trying to get me to watch his fucking TV show.
Right.
So I'm just like, if you know, you got to know that if the Fonz is hustling, then what's your excuse? What's your excuse? I realize that
He's an American icon.
Yeah. Oh man,
That's
I don't
awesome.
try to rest on any I think it's a huge mistake to rest on any laurels.
Exactly.
Because the business changes, tastes change. Qualities and styles change.
Right.
This is why I'm big on Tim Phillips' book so much. And Tim Phillips in Atlanta. It's timphillipsstudio.com, by the way.
Okay.
2 S's, Phillips Studio. And why I'm big about what I'm crazy about him is because everybody was talking about this Michael Shurtleff audition book,
right,
which is 30 years old. And the acting style and what he's teaching is 30 years old. It's be bigger, bolder. When if you look at these TV shows now, it is not about that.
Right.
You watch Handmaid's Tale, you watch Ozark. It is about small, crafted subtlements
Yes.
that have nothing to do about being bigger or bolder.
Wholeheartedly
It's about
agree.
being less and
Less
subtle
is more.
and simplistic and clear and specific.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like here's a book that's lauded as the big audition book, but it's dated. It's almost like some of the acting techniques are dated. They're not applicable for 21st century actors.
That's exactly right.
So then you have somebody who's talking about being clear and specific, like Larry Moss's book,
right.
or Tim Phillips' book about cliches or or 3-act structures within an audition. I mean, like stuff like that is totally applicable for now.
Absolutely.
So I think even for me, it's like I've learned to get better on camera from my students. I've learned a great deal from them. And then the hard challenge is being able to articulate what I do to someone else to try to get them to do it.
Absolutely.
And that's been the biggest challenge for me. But now I'm able to kind of now really get down my verbiage and my language and get to evoke a kind of response from them. And then what's happening is then myself, when I'm looking at material, I'm working that same particular way.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the things that are going to separate me from everybody else.
And see, I love
So
that.
sometimes-
I love
Yeah.
the fact that you recognize that you can learn at the same time you're coaching. You can learn
Correct.
just as much from them as you're teaching them. And I love that because you're never too old to learn. I think anybody that follows us, and follows us individually, know we talk about, and I love that the fact that you said, never rest on your laurels. We can't say hustle and grind enough. I look at
Right.
it as your brand is a living document, if you will. It's ever evolving and ever changing,
It
and
will
if
change,
it's not,
it'll evolve and it'll grow.
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
do you guys know the play American Buffalo?
Yeah.
I have this analogy that I think is really good, which is, do you know the play well enough that there's 3 main characters in the play?
Okay, go.
There's Bobby, Teach, and Donnie. Bobby is a young, teenager. He's a heroin addict, so he's just has an insatiable appetite for. If he does these jobs and tasks for these guys, he'll get his drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Bobby, and then there's Teach, who's like a kind of like a low level, not exactly a lieutenant, but he's like a low level kind of criminal. He does little jobs to kind of get around, so he can kind of
I think I did a scene to this in college.
He's basically and he's got a little chip on his shoulder because he's not exactly where he wants to be.
Right.
And then you have Donnie, who's like he just sits there. He is who he is. He doesn't make excuses for anything. He fucking controls everything, and he keeps everybody.
I did do
in
a
line,
scene for this in college.
So I always say the actor's career is like Bobby, Teach, and Donnie.
There you go.
That when you're young, you're like a heroin addict. As I did, every reading, every play, every student film, changing in pizza parlors, doing student films that I never get copies of. I did everything I possibly could because I was hungry and I wanted it badly. And then you get into the teach phase of things where all of a sudden you get a little bit of taste, you get some jobs, but you're not quite the movie star, you're not quite where you want to be, but you're there.
Yeah.
But you do want more and you strive for more. And then you get into the Donnie phase where you're just an old character actor and you just show up and you just say your lines, you get paid, you tell some stories, you go home.
There you go. You've reached Connery level. Yeah.
So and I waver between Teach and Donnie and go back to my Bobby phases every once in a while because, even when I spoke to you today, there are roles and relationships that I'm trying to connect the dots from all my reps, and there's casting directors I haven't seen in 10, 12 years that have projects that I'm right for, and even I have to get my people to bother them to get me in the room. So you got to know that even after all these years, there's still an element of retraining, getting better, rebranding, retooling your skills. There's an education process. You have to get people behind you that really are in your corner. I've always leaned more towards, I've been with William Morris. I've been with, bigger agencies and stuff where I just kind of get lost and I'm just another one of their dudes,
right.
you know. But I'm more likely tending to gravitate towards people that get me and see and recognize what I'm capable of, and even things that are beyond that. This summer I did roles that were so outside of my wheelhouse.
Right.
A serial killer for this movie called Designed to Kill, where it's this guy killed 9 people in Wisconsin, and he was a leader of a punk band that had a record label deal, and he was a former a Marine, so he knows how to kill people. But it's and he plays electric guitar, and I've never played guitar in my life. So I mean, I really stretch myself. I went to the range. I learned how to shoot. I learned how to fucking play guitar, and I never played guitar before. You know what I mean? I learned about this serial killer and how he kind of came about. It's called Designed to Kill, so it's about the psychology of how somebody becomes an American jihadist.
Right.
And that is not Dallas Buyers Club. That is not Jurassic World. That is not, you know what I mean? That is not the cop, the doctor, the lawyer. That is something, a totally different character of which, I was offered, so that's because, I put in my time, and the director has known my work for 25 years. So,
right.
I feel like no effort, if someone puts no effort into something, you get no results. But,
exactly.
I think the thing is, what's frustrating is people feel they're putting an effort and it's not really kind of going. But I feel like it's fear of taking action, fear of taking risks, that really kind of kill that kind of enthusiasm for what we do.
Agreed wholeheartedly, and let's be honest about it. The industry is built on risk. You have to take risk in this industry.
Yeah. Right, you gotta jump.
I mean, you have to grow and stretch, and the only way you do that is to do things out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
and that's exactly right.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, now you have a really fascinating story because you brought up Dallas Buyers Club. And we were a huge fan. Like I said, we listened to this interview that you did recently, and I know J-Lo's got a question for you because this was an epic story. So I want to make sure any of our listeners that missed it are able to hear this story because I just love this story. So J-Lo, go for it. I know you want to ask him.
I just want to know the relationship between you and Jared Leto. How's that? What's that like?
Pretty amazing, actually.
I bet.
I did something that I never did before. Almost on every set, when I'm working with an actor, I'll come right up to them and introduce myself. Hi, I'm going to complete playing blah blah blah. Nice to meet you. Whether it's in the trailer or the makeup trailer or on set or whatever, I almost always do that as a means to go, hey, we're about to work together. I just want to introduce myself.
Right.
And I was in the makeup trailer, and I don't know Jared. I never met him before. The nature of the relationship between the father and son is really estranged. There's almost like they're total strangers. They don't know each other. And he was over in the corner getting all his makeup done because he had AIDS and all the pox and things. And he had music playing in his headphones, and so he seemed to really be in his own kind of world. And I kind of made a decision that I was not going to speak to him at all as an actor to actor. I made a decision that I don't know that fucking guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's strange, and it's all this kind of thing. And I never did that before, and I don't know what kind of prompted me to do it. But I also felt like he saw me out of the corner of his eye, and I saw him out of his corner. So I think he knew who I was, and I knew who he was.
Right.
But we never spoke to each other at all. I think when we got on set, the director, Jean-Marc Vallée, who's an amazing director. Anybody who ever gets an opportunity to work with him, do it. He's incredible. He had set up speakers around the thing because we were using the Alexa camera, so it doesn't require lighting setups. It's a general lighting setup for the whole scene.
Right. And
they use a lot of natural light, so the lamps and there was somebody bouncing light off the streets because we were downtown New Orleans. And he had a side conversation with me. Then he had a side conversation with Jared. The photographs that are in the Dallas Buyers Club scene are of my real wife and my kids.
Oh, wow.
That are not part of the family. And so he's looking at photographs of another family. It's almost strangers to him, which is not his. And that's what the intent was.
Yeah.
So then there was this very slow melodic kind of like French accordion kind of music playing, which is very sad and melodramatic, and Jean-Marc had set that music up specifically to kind of set a tone of what the scene's about.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a little side conversation with Jared, had a side conversation with me, and he said, hey, don't worry about the camera. The camera's job is to find you. You just do the scene. and I'm not going to call cut. I'll call cut when we're done. So and then we'll just say do it again. He goes, but I just want you to go through the action. I'm not going to call action. You just do what you're going to do and let the camera discover it, and we'll go from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so then we did the scene. He got some notes. I got some notes. We did it again. And then we ended up doing it like 40 times. I think it was 42 times.
Wow.
And I found out from the editor that one scene has 8 different cuts in it that are from the various 40
Yeah.
takes.
Wow.
And once we really kind of had the scene, and he would give a little, sit through this, he'd give little tweaks here and there, and this move around here. And then we would improv stuff. Then it was like coming up with stuff, and I tell him, well, God's punishing you. You have AIDS, and don't worry, I'll cash in. I'll cash in on your demise.
Right.
Choosing, you made that choice to be who you are, and Mom, and he'd say, well, I've always been a disappointment for you. You wish I was dead when I was little. And I was like, it was all these nasty, horrific things that were said to each other.
Yeah.
And after it was all said and done, I mean, we were both fucking emotionally, and we both were in tears back, various different types of scenes, back and forth. And then when the scene was all over, he turned to me, and I turned to him, and he goes, who are you? Because I'm Jared. And we never spoke to each other at all. It was always in character. And only at that moment, and he's just saying, man, we just fucking created some magic here.
Yeah.
And from that point on, like, Jared felt like that scene was the scene that got him the Golden Globe and the Oscar.
Right.
Man.
Other scenes were intense.
Yeah.
But the one between father and son was the one that really put him over the top.
Yeah.
And
So
anybody
when it came
who's
to the
who has not seen the movie, you should definitely see the movie.
Oof.
And
Like
you're
that
right.
scene,
That
like
scene
Jennifer
is
Gardner came up to me on the carpet. She's like, that scene is the most powerful, heartbreaking scene in the
Oh,
entire
my
movie.
goodness.
Like,
Absolutely.
who are you? You're amazing.
yeah.
And so Jerry never kind of forgot that. So when he came to L.A., 30 Seconds to Mars was at the Hollywood Bowl, and he gave me a couple tickets, and I went backstage with my daughter and met him and his brother and band, and and then when it came to the Golden Globes, I mean, I'm there with him. He's like, hold the Golden Globe, half this is yours, and I'm like, no, this is you, buddy. But like that kind of generous spirit of which he didn't have to do any of that.
Right.
And that's a mark of I found my experience has been that the people at the top levels of this business are there for a very, very good reason.
Right.
The Tom Cruises and the Tom Hanks and Spielbergs and Soderberghs, it's like, these are exceptional people. These are exceptional people on many, many different levels. Not anywhere near the tabloid shit of the Kardashian crap that's out there. I mean, real talent.
Yes.
And
yes.
real genuine, and they spend their time and they understand the value. When we're doing Catch Me If You Can, there were Make-A-Wish kids there that would not even be able to live for when the movie came out. And after each take, Tom would stop, and Leo and Steven would explain to the kids how the scene was, that it was historical.
Cool.
And some of the kids are lying there; they can't even stand up. That's how deathly ill they are.
Right.
And it's like that's use fame that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is to help and create amazing experiences for people.
Right.
As opposed to this other just tabloid crap.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I learned a lot of really lessons. I still do an intro, and I may do every once in a while. If the right character and situation is right, that I won't have conversations. And I did that a little bit in Baltimore with certain people. Because my character was such a sociopath, I did not give eye contact to people. I did not make jokes. I did not, and then when the work was over, then I was fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I was in that work mode, I basically was very detached, unpersonable, very much like my character was.
Yeah.
Well, it
I wasn't
helps.
staying in characters per se. I just wasn't engaging in conversations and interactions of which would distract me from what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad J-Lo asked, because I wanted to hear that story again, and I wanted the listeners to hear it. And I love the way that you kind of rounded the story out with, because I have another friend who's in the business who also said that, and I think it's a brilliant thing about how you create art that you hope moves people, that you hope makes an impact on people. And I think you're right. I think it's the artists who realize that and can share that the way that you just explained with certain people that do, they're the ones who are successful. They're the ones who stay in the industry a long time. They're the ones who stay at the top a long time. I think it's a great point, and I'm so glad you shared that story.
That's how you stay constantly relevant. If you're not adding anything,
exactly,
you're detracting.
Exactly.
You got to keep adding to your game.
And right now, the environment, the political structure, the White House, the Senate, I mean, you know, you want to fuck, you know, and you kill, and he comes right in, and he kills the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts.
Right.
Like, there's no better time than now that an artist needs to make their mark and tell their story.
Exactly.
There's no better time, and we're all craving for it. I don't want to hear any more shit about separatism and an undivided states. I'm done with that shit.
Right.
Give me the human common thread.
Right.
You know, like I just finished watching season 1 of Ozark, and I'm just like, you know, I'm going to bed thinking that oh my God, what's going to happen to them? Oh my shit.
Yeah, shit is crazy.
What if I got in some shit like that with my family?
Right.
Like, oh my God.
Right.
You know, like I'm so lucky my family is like fucking healthy, and
yeah,
we got our problems, but not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just a fucking TV show.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, like that's, you know, as Shakespeare said, to hold us twere a mirror to nature.
Yes. Yes.
Like that's the deal. That's fuck the fame, fuck the money. It's like if you're not unearthing human behavior to inspire people or to make them think,
Or just
then
because you love it.
then all you're doing is killing time before we're feet up. That's all you're fucking doing.
Absolutely.
And you can do all the comic book movies you want and tell the stories, but even in those are
There's
some
even messages in
fantasies
those,
and things that we all kind of wish for.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. I think
Even
I
though
cannot
we're
agree
we
with
all
you.
wish we all have superpowers.
Right.
Just, we can't fly.
Right, exactly.
But we can be compassionate for somebody. That's
Absolutely.
a superpower.
Cannot
We
agree
can
with
love
you more.
somebody that we totally don't look anything like or disagree with.
yeah.
Yep.
That's a superpower.
That's exactly
So
right.
rather, you know, so for me, it's like, you know, my mission is clear. You know, my business plan is clear, and I feel like, you know, that's, you know, I did a movie that was financed with people that I totally 100% disagree with politically, and their message, and my point was but that was my job. My job.
Exactly.
This guy really existed.
Exactly.
I can do something that I don't 100%. You know, like I may not agree with the politics of it or the purpose and intent behind this.
It's
Right.
fucking
But I mean,
acting.
this guy's a historical
Exactly.
person that his voice needs to be heard.
Exactly. Exactly.
Person's dead, and you talk about him all the time. This is movie Roe v. Wade,
Right.
and to play Henry
Yeah.
Wade in Roe v. Wade,
Yep.
I don't know. That to me, that's a huge opportunity.
A huge
Right.
Now, it may
opportunity.
be the reason that the people behind it may be, you know, they're trying to they want to change Roe v. Wade.
Right.
You know, I mean, one of the producers was like, "Hey, did you hear Kennedy's dead?" It's like our movie's gonna reverse Roe v. Wade, and I'm like, "Well, I certainly hope not."
Yeah.
I have a young teenage daughter who I'd like for her to be able to make a choice and not have it be a government dictate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. So we can agree to we can agree to disagree.
Exactly. And still
But I
still
kinda
make
felt
art.
like,
Yeah.
You know, I know actors who stayed away from that movie because of all the politics and
Yeah, I just read about that
Right.
today.
religious right groups that were behind it.
Hmm.
And I felt like but if we can't have a conversation, if we
Yes.
choose not to create art with them, with people we don't agree with,
Yeah.
then where are we? We're nowhere.
Exactly.
We're nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, the unfriending and the not. If we can't have a communication or we can't create some piece of work together, then we have a much bigger problem.
Yeah.
We
And I
seriously
feel
do.
choosing to not be part of that dialogue or choosing to not be part of the project because of what the fear or worry how it's going to be perceived in the industry, that just was ridiculous to me.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Could not agree more. James, you are a wise man, sir.
You're like Yoda.
Yeah, no, seriously.
I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and that's how you learn. You learn from mistakes, but I just simply could not agree with you more about what it means to be an artist. And now more than ever, it's time to make your mark as an artist and for the voice to be heard. And you have to have a conversation, and you start those conversations by sometimes doing things you don't agree with. And you get the
Right.
message out there, and,
Exactly.
and you do it. And I cannot think of a single better way to end our conversation than on that note.
Hell yeah.
And I think it's just it's a brilliant outlook. I commend you, and thank you so much for sharing that with our listeners. And I just open invite, sir. Anytime you would like to come back on this show and just talk and share stories, man, we would love to have you.
I'll have more to talk about after the first of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds
A few
good.
things that I kind of have to wait on, but in the meantime, people go see some of my movies, man. I really appreciate people.
Absolutely.
I get great comments about Deepwater Horizon and Patriots Day, and now I'm on The Good Fight, which is a really great show up in New York.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of good stuff out there that I just I'm always appreciative when people, and I'm on I have open Facebook pages. It's not like it's all private, and I'm on Instagram, James Dumont, and Twitter, James K. Dumont. So it's like people can kind of follow what I'm doing, but it's always very nice and humbling when people are acknowledging a body of work and kind of sticking around. I may not be the guy that has tons of money in the bank. I don't, but but I get to work with some amazing people, and I create some kind of interesting characters that I think are provocative and make people stop and think and feel and be affected. And
definitely.
There's no better job in my book.
No, absolutely. And listen, we will most definitely share all of your social media sites and direct people all your way.
Hell yeah.
And continue to promote all of your projects. I'm glad you brought up The Good Fight, because I'm a huge fan of The Good Fight. I think it was a brilliant
great
spin-off.
show.
Yeah.
And our episode was all towards the end of the season, it was all about this states' rights versus federal rights.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
That was we're in the middle of this right now.
Yep.
And it's going to continue.
Yep.
So I mean, what I always love about that show is that they're just kind of on the pulse. In fact, they were ahead of a few kind of issues that came up later on. But,
Agreed.
It's such a good show, and it looks like there's a possibility of me coming back. So.
Oh well, congratulations! Keep us up to date on that for sure.
Well,
absolutely.
I'll probably
all right, my friends.
Oh.
Any other questions?
I'll probably be looking into another coaching session with you.
Yeah.
I would guess after this interview, a lot of our New Orleans listeners are going to be looking into some coaching sessions with you.
I
love that. And then I've been wanting to kind of come up to Mississippi too. So it's like, if y'all put 6 or 8 people in a room, I'll show them all kinds of stuff. So,
oh my goodness, we would love that.
Right.
Hell yeah.
That's kind of to me. I feel like I can't do more than 8. But you find 8 people that are really kind of hungry, I'll jump in my car and jump up there. I've been doing that in Baton Rouge now. I have a class in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
That people are kind of clamoring for because, my friend Wayne Perret was teaching up there, and I didn't want to go up while he was teaching. So he's now moved on. And so I basically started the class up in Baton Rouge. So there's 8 people who are consistently wanting me to come up there, and I come up and, just to kind of knock it out. I do the same thing when I was up in Baltimore. I do it when I'm in LA. I just try to keep everybody kind of sharp. So, y'all want to put that together. You know how to reach me. Just reach out and just go, James, we've got 8 people who are hungry. Let's do it.
Sounds like
I think we can find that.
Yeah, I bet we can find
$50 ahead. I got car and gas, and I'll just work my way up there, get some dinner.
All right.
The K.
So you let me know.
Will do, man.
The K in James K. Dumont must stand for Kenobi.
Kenobi, that's right.
It could be Kenobi.
That's right.
Kelvin, which is my middle name, and then that's my son's first name too. So
awesome.
That's really cool.
Awesome. Well, listen, congratulations on all of the success.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the family. I think you're a solid family man, and I love that that's the priority in your life.
Hell yeah.
So congratulations on that. And like I said, open invite. Anytime you want to come back, you give us a holler, and I'm sure we're going to be hollering back at you and having you back on real soon.
Sounds good. Thanks again. Appreciate
all right,
it.
have a good one now.
Have a good one.
We'll be in touch soon.
Take it easy.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Wow.
Man.
Wow.
We found somebody that, we
out talks the mouth.
Yeah, we didn't hear much of you.
That's okay.
There's only select few.
But listen though, I mean it's that kind of a
thank you, James.
Of an interview, that kind of a talk that I think our listeners really engage with.
And
you know what I'm
camera.
saying? Because he's so real. He doesn't have
Exactly.
to hide it. He's like, this is the way it is. This is how it is. This is why it's important. This isn't what's important. I love that. I love all of that stuff.
Hell yeah.
What an amazing guy. Good find, Jason, by the
you.
way. And thank you, Bourbon Bay Radio, for sharing him. I know he's one of y'all's favorite guests.
Yeah.
And we just could not be. James, thank you so much, buddy. I loved that interview. I seriously love that interview.
That was good.
Jimmy
Yeah.
KD.
Pass my mic to little Cam.
Oh, okay. Tavia's got to go.
Bye, Tavia.
So, all right. So yeah. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed that episode. Be careful now because it did get a little rainy out
We'll
there.
get your directors next week.
Oh yeah.
I'll be ready.
All right. Yeah, I absolutely loved that. I mean, what an amazing individual. And like I said, he's now the second person that used that terminology that I know that's in the industry that says to create art to
Dusty can now
inspire
roam
or
around the
move
studio.
people. You know? And I think he's right. It's this time, and it's when it matters the most. It matters the most right now. And I think we're artists. And what we're trying to do with this show is help inspire people and help move people.
For the
and-
people that aren't
get
watching,
'em to
Dusty
do.
has moved around the studio and is now pouring another glass of wine.
Are we still recording while you're pouring another glass of wine?
Yeah,
right now?
yeah, we're still recording.
Awesome.
I'm just talking. We're
I
having a good
understand.
time.
No, that's why he's got the
Just having a good
he's got the
time.
hands free because he
Yeah,
can
no, I
he
got
can
the
roam around a house.
hands-free. Isn't that the awesome part about this studio?
Yeah,
Like, I love
exactly.
being in this layout now because you can just have a good time. It's a
Exactly.
comfortable, laid back, just chill attitude.
That's
Exactly.
a
If I bring over a
large
bottle,
second glass.
of-
That's a
whiskey,
large
can-
second glass, as Lil Cam pointed out.
It is a large second.
I'm trying to
glass.
catch up to J-Lo. That's what I'm doing. That's all right.
Shit.
It's okay. So I can't wait to have him back on. And
Hell
let's do
yeah.
it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about that before we called him, but, you know, to do him live and then bring in some of his students and just,
Yeah,
like,
that would be
a
epic.
live show with
Yeah.
James would be amazing.
James,
Hell
if you're
yeah.
listening to this when it's broadcast, want to do it live?
Wanna do it live?
Yeah. When it's broadcast, which would be when he's listening to it.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Friday.
He's like, if you're listening to this when it's broad... Oh, wait.
Right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
And you can find our podcast on bourbonbayproductions.com, Apple Podcasts.
You know,
and
we
Google
haven't
Play
mentioned
Music.
anything about Is It Worth
We
It?
haven't.
No,
we haven't.
But you know what we will be reviewing this coming Is It Worth It?
What?
Peppermint.
Peppermint.
Oh,
I mean, obviously, because our
Yes.
next guest getting ready to call in. here
Can
in
you
a couple
can you
minutes.
see that on Movie Pass?
Randy Gonzalez.
We shall see. And you mentioned
So-
Movie Pass. I actually just went through his Twitter before we started recording the show, and he's like, "So Movie Pass is dead. What's next?"
Exactly,
So
yeah.
maybe we can talk a little bit of Movie
Yeah, no,
Pass with
absolutely.
him.
We're gonna have a good time with him.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. Is this Randy?
Hey, yeah, this is Randy.
Hey, first of all, thank you so much for coming on and talking to
Yes,
us. We are
honestly.
really excited about having you on as a guest. And congratulations, man. Got the big movie coming out this weekend.
Yeah.
So we are like extremely excited to talk to you about that.
Hell yeah.
Really pumped about that. So how you doing today, man?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm definitely excited for Friday. Excited for people to go out to the theaters and watch Peppermint. Definitely should be a good time.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Yes.
We're super excited. We're gonna talk all about that in a minute. But we want to kind of give you your background a little bit and have you talk about your career and how you got into it.
Yeah.
And how you kind of got started, so we can introduce our listeners to you and kind of give them a background on you a
Yeah,
little bit.
definitely.
So yeah, let's start there. So how did you get into the industry? Have you always wanted to be an actor? Is it something you've always wanted to do? Or did you kind of fall into it? Or kind of let's talk about your background a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely kind of fell into it. I'm from Miami, Florida, originally.
Oh, nice.
And around when I was a teenager, I want to say 13 and 14, I joined a band. And then throughout the years, the band ended up getting kind of serious. I play guitar, by the way. So
Okay.
At
There you go.
some point, the band got kind of serious. We actually started doing tours. We're all young kids around the same age.
Right.
You know, like I was still in high school, so in between like spring break or summer break, we would do like an East Coast tour, like do like go as far as out to like Texas, and then eventually once I graduated, we got bigger and bigger.
That's cool.
We got signed to a label. We started
Oh,
doing
shit.
like full U.S. tours, started doing international tours.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we were going around the world. And then at some point, the singer, his name is Gino Vento, he was like, hey, man, it'd be cool if we got into acting. Like, I know this one guy that's kind of doing it, and out in L.A., like, he's starting to get gigs. Like, we should give it a shot. And so he kind of planted that seed in my head. And then I was like, yeah, that could be cool. We could be, like, the bad guys in projects. So then we kind of figured it out. We took a random acting class. We went on Craigslist, literally found the cheapest acting class we could find in Miami, just because we're like, okay, we don't want to spend a lot of money in case we don't like it. At least we didn't spend, $1,000 in a class.
Yeah.
Right.
Balling on a
went,
budget.
we both loved it. We were like, oh wow, this is really fun.
And then we did an extra gig on the show called Burn Notice.
Yeah.
It was on USA. So
Oh, no, it was.
that was our first time on a set, and it just kind of blew our minds. Like, whoa, like this is insane. Like, just how many pieces have to come in place just to do one little scene.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was like a prison riot. So it's literally our first day ever on a set. We got to do like a fake food fight.
Oh man,
Like,
that's
like
awesome.
a fake prison riot. We're like, what? People get paid for this? Like, we have to be actors.
Right.
That's
then
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it blew our minds, and then from then we figured out how to like actually start getting real roles. Where like,
Right.
we kind of grew away from the extra work. We're like, okay, we figured out how to audition, how to get cast, and kind of from there it progressed. And thankfully, both of us are working. He's actually on the show Mayans right now.
Oh, wow.
The new Sons of Anarchy spinoff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So it's very cool. We actually had our premieres for both of our projects on the same night.
Oh,
that's
which
amazing.
is crazy.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, wow, that's like Craig. That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
that is an awesome story. Hey, let's go
Exactly.
find this acting class on Craigslist,
Yeah.
and let's just say
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. That's one I haven't heard before. Honestly,
No, I haven't
that's
either. So whatever happened to the musician career? That kind of take a little back seat when she started getting more serious into acting?
Yeah, at one point, I think the acting started taking off more, and then it just happened to be kind of where the music thing was fizzling out. We had a record label, and I think our contract was over with them, and at that point, we were just kind of like, we had been doing it for about almost 10 years already,
Oh,
so
wow.
it was a long time.
wow.
And we were just like, yeah, we don't really want to go and search for a whole new label.
Right.
I was like, let's just call it quits. So we kind of did like a whole year of like farewell tour.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, we just went to like different countries, which is always fun.
Oh
Hell yeah, that's
always.
epic, man. That
Well,
really is.
listen, it clearly was the right move because I mean, like you said, you kind of figured it out and you learned how to audition and you've kind of made a progression into it. And dude, you've had like some serious roles here. I mean, like recurring roles on Bloodline, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And Transparent, Walking Dead. I mean, these are not small shows that you've made appearances on. I mean, so you're getting it done, dude.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you, man.
Yeah, no, man, that's awesome, and like, well, okay, so let's talk
I
about the
don't know if that
biggie,
was-
Peppermint. Really excited about Peppermint. It's really I'm looking at it as kind of like Jennifer Garner's return. It's kind of the big return for Jennifer Garner. So, how did that come about? I mean, how was the audition process for that, and how'd that all go down?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited for it. I think definitely you're on the right track. I think a lot of people are framing it as their comeback, especially to action.
Right,
She's
exactly.
kind of like just done a lot of like the sweet mom roles for a while now.
Right, but now we're
Um,
getting like kick-ass Sydney Bristow back from Alias and stuff.
Exactly. So it's like I'm seeing a lot of her fans like really excited about her coming back into the action world,
Right.
which is cool. But yeah, as far as me, my agent got me the audition. Actually, my friend Gino, the one who was in the band, he got to audition for a different role. He's the one that was like, hey, you should tell your agent to like push for this project because obviously they're looking for a lot of Latino guys. So
Right.
yeah, I pushed my agent. They got me the audition, and I went in, and it was a producer session. It was already the director Pierre Morel who did Taken, the first one. He was in the room, and then a few of the producers were there, and yeah, I was like, oh, this might be a long shot because there was a lot of guys reading for the same role. It was one of those things where I walked in and it was like 15 guys going in for the same role. So I was like, who knows,
Yeah.
Right.
I could just tell everybody was going really quick. Like everybody was just going in. They were in there for like 10 minutes and then they were out. And it's kind of a loud scene, so you could kind of hear some guys. And I was
Right.
like, everybody was doing it once. So when I finished the first scene, I just got up and started to leave on my own. I was like, all right, thank you. He's like, no, come back. He's like, I want to see you do that a few more times. So I was already like, oh, wow. Like, so far from what I've heard, none of the other guys have done it more than once.
Right.
So he had me do it a few times, and I was kind of like, okay. I mean, that might be a good sign. He liked me enough to want me to like do it a few times, and then maybe literally like a day later, I got the phone call that I booked it.
Awesome.
I was
wow.
like, awesome. And then, and yeah, it was a fun shoot. It was like really spread out for me. Like I didn't work consistently. It was like I worked literally maybe the first or second day of the actual whole entire shoot. Then I worked in the middle. Then I worked the very last day. So that was kind of cool to work the first and the last day of the whole production.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. That's
Hell yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then if I'm not mistaken, you're like prevalent in the trailer, right? You're like front and center in the trailer of this thing too. So people are seeing you like a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Because I got to be
Yeah.
honest with you, they're doing a brilliant marketing job behind this film. I mean, it's
Yeah, it
like
looks really
everywhere,
good.
man. So And yeah, immediately I watched the trailer and I'm like, there he is. There he is.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
cool.
That's great exposure for you. So that's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is exciting. A lot of people are like, "Hey, I saw you on TV." Like they're like obviously pushing TV spots for it too.
Yeah.
Right.
And my scenes are in the TV spot, which is exciting.
Absolutely. So yeah, well, listen, I mean, congratulations, and we're of course going to be telling everybody about it because we want everybody to go see this film.
Yeah.
And
We'll be reviewing it.
Make it. Yeah, we will be. We will be reviewing it this week after we see it.
Awesome.
So we'll look forward to that.
Hell yeah.
We will definitely be doing that. So what you got coming up in the future? If I'm not mistaken, didn't you just sign on to as a recurring role in a new show coming out?
Yeah, I did two things recently. I did that, which is it's a new show for Oprah's
Right.
network called the show is called David Makes Man.
Yeah.
And it's one of the creator is one of the co-writers on the film Moonlight, which
Oh,
they won
fantastic!
an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
And Michael B. Jordan's an executive producer, and then
Nice.
along with Oprah. So it's definitely like quality people
Oh,
are
absolutely.
involved already. And it should be a great project. It's kind of like a coming of age story
Yeah.
about
Right.
this character named David, and I play a math teacher, which is also like a very different turn for me.
Right,
Yeah.
we were
I'm
just
excited
talking
for that.
about that. We were literally saying that in our introduction to you, that you're kind of known as the bad guy, and kind of like you've got this thing going, and you're kind of coming out of that area, and you're playing like a mentor and recognize this prodigy's like what he's got for. I love that. I love that you're willing to take a risk and go outside of what you're known for, and I think it's going to be a brilliant role for you, honestly.
yeah.
The premise for the show sounds amazing, and I think it's going to be good for you. So congratulations on that. By far, I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna have to have you back on too when that hits, so you could talk about it because
Yeah,
we'd love to hear
definitely.
about that as well. So
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to come back on.
yeah. So
yeah, it's definitely going to be a quality project. I'm excited for people to see it, and the writing on it is top notch, of course.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
no doubt. So and what was the other one? You mentioned you had another one coming up.
Yeah, it's a new David Ayer film called The Tax Collector.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And
Shia
Shia
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf is one
Yeah.
of the stars on it.
Yeah.
So that should be a good one too. It's another gritty film.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People, you know,
Epic.
if you're a fan of like old school David Ayer films, you'll like this one for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, man. I mean, I think you're just like absolutely killing it right now, dude.
Yeah.
And we could not be more thrilled to have you on and talking about it. And it's nationwide, right? Peppermint opens nationwide this weekend, correct?
Yeah, nationwide on Friday.
On Friday.
So,
Nice.
I think it's
Did you
about
wanna ask?
it's supposed to be in around 2,000 theaters, so
Ronnie.
it should be a good amount.
Yeah, no,
Wide
that's a
release for
decent.
sure.
Yeah, that's decent for sure, man. And like I said, we will be absolutely be sending everybody to it. Because we
Awesome,
want
I
people to go
appreciate
see this film.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so now we have some other questions for you because we follow you on social media, and you seem to be of like mind with us. So we got to ask you. We want to Movie Pass, man. What?
Yeah, man. It's kind of a bummer. I really loved it while it was actually like
Yeah,
Yeah.
us too.
working. I was like, this is amazing. But I always had that mentality going into it. I was like, okay, like this sounds like a bad business plan, but
Right,
like,
This is what I was thinking when they were.
they kind of burned down, and it kind of happened. Or it definitely crashed and burned. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But boy, it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw that tweet. We're like, this guy gets us.
Yeah,
he knows.
he understands.
We felt the same way, man. We just used the crap out of it while it was good, and then it just kind of died
Yeah.
on us. But that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's so sad, man. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the new replacement. I've been like asking people. Everyone's saying the AMC thing might be the next good move.
Yeah, that's. I mean, from what I understand, AMC's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think all movie theater chains are going to start doing.
Yeah, you would think, because I mean
Yeah.
that's the downside is that Movie Pass was like actually for everywhere, and these AMC is like limited. If you don't have an AMC theater, you're kind of screwed on that. But
Just
Exactly.
so yeah, but
if you travel, just find an AMC theater. Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, that's true too. So yeah, listen, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on the show today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you for sure. And we're excited about your career, man. We're excited about what you got going on. And like I said, you have an open invite, my friend, to come back and talk whenever you want to. And we will promote all of your stuff. I mean, you seem to be just a fantastic. I love your story, man. I love stories and hearing about where people just kind of go after what they want. They go outside of their comfort zone and they make it, dude. That they find a passion and they go for it and they make it. And I think it's a great story. And I could not be more happy for you. I hope the success continues. And we look forward to seeing a lot of stuff out of you from in the future, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, thanks for having me on. Yeah, you guys seem awesome so far. It's been a good time, and yeah, I think that's definitely one of those things. Like if you kind of set your mind to something and just go after it, it could happen.
Exactly, man.
So it's
right? It doesn't happen if you don't go for it, right?
Exactly.
You got to take the shot. So
exactly.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to people trying to get in the industry? What do you think the best advice to pass along? Because we have a lot of listeners who. One of the reasons we started this show is because we had so many people ask us, "How do you get into this? How do you do it? Is it even possible?"
Yeah.
So, what would you kind of pass along for young people that are listening today that want to try to get into it? What would you say to do and not to do when you're trying to make this move?
Yeah, definitely. I think get into an acting class to see if you even like it. To see if you actually like acting. Because a lot of people, I think, just like the idea of acting, of being seen, of like having a following of some sort. But, get into an actual acting class, see if you like being exposed like that. Because obviously it's a very like vulnerable space.
Yeah.
Yes.
So see if you feel comfortable with that. If you like it, then from then on, just, start shooting stuff. Or start doing student films because that'll give you the experience that you need.
Absolutely. And what pitfalls would you say to avoid? Is there anything out there that you've kind of learned over the last few years that like absolutely look out for?
Oh man, yeah, I would say just be smart of the projects you're doing. Think of your career like, in the long run. If you're doing a certain type of roles, if you're doing too many of those, kind of try to avoid those. Try to mix it up a little bit.
Right.
You don't want to get boxed into a certain typecast or anything like that.
Exactly. That's solid advice. And like I said, I think it's a brilliant move, this teacher role that you've taken, and I like the idea that you're taking a risk and going out there. And so I think it's great advice. Well, listen, man, this has been extremely enjoyable, and we appreciate it so much for you calling in. And like I said, we will be reaching back out to you, and open invite, man. Anytime you want to come on, you just holler at us and let us know, and we'll bring you back in. Maybe after the movie opens, and we can come back. We'll do our review. We'll talk to you about it. Because I know right now we kind of can't give anything away. So maybe after it opens and we can talk about it a little bit more, we can have you back on and talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. I would love that, man.
Awesome, dude. Well, listen, man, you take care and have a great rest of the day. And like I said, we will absolutely be in touch with you real soon. And we appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man.
Definitely.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. And like I said, enjoy the movie.
Oh, all absolutely, right. Man. And social media. You're on Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah, Instagram is Randy_G, and then Twitter is Randy G.
Okay, and are you on Facebook also, or?
No, not really.
Fair enough.
It's not just like family, like.
Right. No, completely understand, man. I'm the same way on that one. So, listen, we will direct everybody to the social media and have them follow you because, like I said, I think you're fun to follow and you post some great stuff. So we will definitely do that for you, and we will be promoting the crap out of Peppermint for you, buddy.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you take care now, and we'll be in touch soon, buddy.
All right, bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Wow, okay, that's got to be the most interesting story we've ever heard about how he got into acting, right?
That.
So listen,
I was in a rock band and we were traveling the world, and then we just so happened to try out this acting class.
Right? But so like Craigslist though.
Yeah.
I mean, we just found this cheap acting class on Craigslist, and the
fuck.
rest is history.
Yeah.
How awesome
So
is
funny.
that, man? I mean,
It really is.
Just thank you, Randy.
Yeah,
first
thank
of
you,
all,
Randy.
That was awesome, buddy.
And thank you,
Should
James.
have had one of our guests come up with a word of the day.
Right? Like,
Randy,
hey,
what's the word of the day?
Randy.
Do you have a word of the day you'd like to share with us?
I just really like the story.
Yeah.
He just kind of said, hey, let's just take a shot at this.
Yeah.
Kind of see how it goes. Because we hear that. That's one of the themes over and over and over again on our show.
Yeah.
Take the risk.
Yeah,
Take the
exactly.
leap. Go for it. Because how do you know? Like he just finished the interview with, how do you know unless you do it?
Exactly.
So much. I mean, just love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Randy.
it, buddy.
Appreciate you. Peppermint out this Friday.
Peppermint out this Friday. And look for our review on
Yes.
Is It Worth It?
Is it worth it?
Next week.
Yes.
All right.
We should also review Kamikaze, Eminem's new album.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kamikaze.
Yep. But top five directors.
Top
Is it
five?
time?
Is it
Yeah,
time
we
for
can do
top five directors?
Yeah.
I feel like we should continue with the trend of ladies first.
And ladies first.
Emily?
Tavia had to make an exit, so there's only one lady.
So here's the thing: the one lady only has 3.
The one lady only has 3.
Oh, 3.
Okay, we'll just throw
Three.
some stock ones out there.
Yeah, right.
Stock. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. At least make it
So-
chicken stock. Make it something good.
Yeah, we can something
What
good.
I did, because
I waited until the last minute to do these.
Yeah.
Is
Same.
I took favorite TV shows and movies and took the directors from them, and that's what I did.
So you cheated.
Yeah.
I did.
I understand.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But I
Logan
think it would make
understands.
sense, though, that maybe if one of your favorite shows or
Yeah.
movies,
Exactly.
it might be a favorite director. It would make
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to give you that.
All right, and I only have 3.
You get a pass.
No, you don't get a pass on only 3, though.
Yeah. You gotta just.
Maybe by the time we do our 15, we can come back and you can figure 2 more
Right.
out.
2 more out.
I think you'll be okay with 3.
I'm not bending on 5.
It's called the top 5.
Okay, so
I respect whatever you want to do.
Oh.
The bit will never die.
See,
It will
yeah,
never die.
I wasn't gonna go there, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
all right, so
Johnny Depp.
because my favorite movie is Breakfast Club, I had to put John Hughes.
Oh,
in
that's a
there.
good one.
John Hughes is a good one.
That's a good
So,
one.
and then Gary Marshall.
There you go.
That's another one.
Pretty Woman.
And I'm going to get made fun of here because this seems to be a trend in my top 5s. Amy Sherman Palladino, because Gilmore Girls.
No, but Amy Sherman Palladino. Props.
And Marvelous Miss Maisel, because if you haven't watched that, that's really
I
good
heard
too.
that was pretty good.
Props.
So there's
Won't
my
give you props.
3 because I don't have 2 more. Logan?
Oh, well, you see, J.J. Abrams,
J.J. Abrams.
Ron
Okay.
Howard,
Oh, that's a good one.
Christopher Nolan,
Uh-huh.
the Russo brothers,
Son of a bitch.
and, because I'm really digging the Ozark, Jason Bateman.
All right.
Ozark is
Yeah,
really
no,
good.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. It is really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest. All right, guys, what you got?
All right, let's see. I'm going down from 5 like I always do. I have Darren Aronofsky at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I had Kevin Smith at 4, but then I completely forgot
about Kevin Smith.
I completely forgot about. It would be ridiculous not to add Stanley Kubrick
Yeah.
to this list.
Exactly.
So he would be number 4. Follow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say Martin Scorsese is at number 4, and Stanley Kubrick is at number 3. Chris Nolan would be number 2, and my all-time favorite is David Fincher.
My first one is Damien Chazelle.
Nice.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He has La La Land, First Man, Whiplash, just like so many great ones. I mean, I think this guy is young and upcoming.
He
and
did
he's
Whiplash?
he did Whiplash.
Oh, okay.
And because you guys always make fun of me because I go into these stories based on my list. It's just
No, go ahead.
If anybody not familiar, Damien made Whiplash as like this little 18-minute short, and with like unknowns in it, except for J.K. Simmons. He was
Right.
somehow able to get J.K. Simmons on it, and
He sold them insurance.
yeah. Dun, 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 dun. We've seen that. But anyway, this 18-minute short so impressed the studios, that hence the feature film that we all know J.K. went on to win the Oscar.
I still
for.
haven't seen it,
Um,
but I know it's.
Oh
great.
my gosh,
it's
yeah,
great.
dude, you got it.
It's on my list.
Yeah. But anyway, so yes. Another favorite that I just really think is a brilliant filmmaker. I love his approach. I like the way he does things. I just think he's a great guy. Jon Favreau. Huge fan of Jon Favreau. I think he's a brilliant director. And then I'm gonna go with Clint Eastwood. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Clint Eastwood as a director. I think he tells a hell of a story. I mean, the guy's talented. He's insanely talented.
That last one though, with the real life soldiers.
We're not going to discuss that one. I
Okay.
don't even know what you're talking
All
about.
right.
I have you.
Oh, you mean the one with Steve Urkel in it?
Yeah.
Listen, the direction wasn't bad. It was the decision to actually use
Jaleel White.
non-actors
Yeah.
that was bad.
Yeah.
Like even epic Clint Eastwood could
Yeah.
not save it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. And for anybody who doesn't know, well, you don't need to know. What was that? That was 3.
I think so.
Yeah, Dan Fogelman. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to Life Itself, his feature film. And if you're familiar with This Is Us, the guy absolutely, I mean, I don't know how you don't
honestly.
think this guy is brilliant. He's absolutely
really good.
fantastic. And then my other one, yeah, you kind of stole it, but it's okay. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to give it a toss. It's Christopher Nolan and or the Russo brothers, because you cannot argue what the Russo brothers have been able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just,
To be honest.
yeah. So
Found a word of the day.
found the word of
Yeah.
the day.
I went to cinematicterms.com.
Cinematicterms.com.
Is
I
it?
found aside, and that aside occurs when a character in a film breaks the fourth wall and it directly addresses the audience, kind of like when Henry Hill does this in The Goodfellas, or JD does this in Scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, examples.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time for Jules Box Office this connection.
Yeah, it is. All right. Let me.
That wasn't even me on the wine.
That wasn't.
That wasn't.
All right.
It could have
That was
been
me on
though.
helium.
Let's get to the right place. Box office coming out this week. The Nun. Oh shit! Can't wait to see that one.
And
But
we will be having a person that was in that on our show soon.
yeah,
Yes, we will.
yeah, I can't wait for that. Peppermint, who oh boy is Randy Gonzalez is about to be in. That's coming out this weekend.
Well, he was in
and
it.
God Bless the Broken Road is also coming out this weekend.
God bless the
Broken Road. Movies that are still out, that are still kicking. Mission Impossible, Fallout, The Meg, Black Klansman, Mile 22, Crazy Rich Asians, which is crazy that it's sustained this amount of popularity. It's really this time period's Jumanji, like this year's Jumanji. Like just sticking around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the third week that it stayed around like 22 million. The first weekend it came out, it was like 25, 27 million, and now it's only where I'm expecting it to be 17 million. So we shall see. Number one, I think it will be The Nun, the new horror flick coming out, 35 to 40 million. Number two, I think will be Crazy Rich Asians, because it's just been kicking strong with 17 million. Number three, let's go with Peppermint, Jennifer Gardner's new flick, and Randy Gonzalez.
Randy Gonzalez.
Yes, with around 15 million. Number four, I got The Meg with around 7 million. Still need to see that. People said it was good, but we shall see. And number five, still need to see this one as well. Mission Impossible Fallout with 5 million.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, number
That
one.
one's hanging around, ain't it?
It is.
It is.
It is. Number one, The Nun. Number two, Crazy Rich Asians. Number three, Peppermint. Number four, The Meg. Number five, Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Just
gonna.
heard
I'm
it.
gonna.
What are you gonna do?
I think 1-2 is gonna be a battle between the Nun and Peppermint.
I do too.
I think a lot of people are excited about Jennifer Garner's return.
Yeah.
I think also a lot more people are going to go see it than would have initially seen it. Not saying I think it's going to be a hit no matter
Yeah.
what, but because of the whole situation that went down, a lot of people are like loving Jennifer
Yeah.
right now. I think people are going to go see that movie.
We shall see.
So, I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm not saying because
Yeah.
horror's doing well right now.
Yeah.
Even though, have we seen a real horror movie
I
lately?
mean,
No.
no.
But it's still
Honestly.
doing okay.
Apparently,
So-
the commercials, pretty scary.
Yeah,
So
well,
It's
they
got a
took it
jump
off
scare in it.
YouTube.
I hope,
yeah,
I
they
hope,
took
I hope
that
the
off
commercial
YouTube.
is probably not the only thing that's scary about it.
But yeah,
Hopefully
so
not.
we'll see. I think I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, the character of the nun kind of
Yeah.
it was kind of freaky. And
Yeah.
What movie was it? The
Conjuring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and it all
Yeah.
fits in. They kind of it's all
Yeah.
It's all
together.
one universe. Yeah, they
Yeah.
built
Yeah.
their own universe.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Billboard tops, chart toppers. Still, Hot 100, Drake, In My Feelings, 8 weeks running.
Yeah,
That's insane.
you know what that means?
What does that mean?
Kiki really
He
loves
really does.
him.
Or
Like,
she
seriously,
really does.
She really loves him.
love him.
Yeah.
He keeps asking,
He does.
and you would think by now he would know. She does. I mean,
and-
like 8 weeks. Okay,
Tell
she
us the
does.
wine you're
8
drinking
weeks
again.
of love. 8 weeks
This would
of
be
love.
Apothic Brew.
Apothic Brew.
Apothic Brew.
Fifth time. Top 200 albums, Billboard Top 200. BTS, Love Yourself, Answer. This is the first week at the number one chart. This is like, electronic group, I think. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think they're popular.
Behind
Maybe.
the scenes,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But
BTS.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
Honorable mention, The Greatest Showman soundtrack is
You!
still in the top 20 of the Billboard 200.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
After all this time, still in the top 20.
I heard it was
Man
great.
is
I
getting it
still
done.
haven't seen The Greatest Showman. Just letting you know.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah. My
What the
bad.
fuck? Why?
Are you upset?
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
seriously.
upset, bro.
I'm
Please tell me you've
upset.
fucking seen Logan.
Yeah,
Please sit
I've seen
down.
Logan.
Sit down,
Okay.
Dusty. Sit down, Dusty.
But
It's
how-
gonna be okay.
It's okay.
How have you not seen Greatest Showman?
I don't know.
Please get your hands from around his neck.
He's so angry.
People who are actually watching this are going, I don't get it. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
He
What's he
never
talking
stood up.
about?
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, okay, seriously.
Seriously.
Hugh Jackman might be the Greatest Showman.
Really.
Yeah, dude. Logan.
Yeah.
And then P.T. Barnum.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I
come
said,
on.
I saw Logan. It was
Yeah.
really
But,
good.
okay, seriously though, the soundtrack is epic.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is epic.
Yeah.
Zendaya is epic.
And we were even going to do a performance.
No,
and
we
I had
are.
no idea.
We are.
We're still doing
we
that
need to
shit.
bring that back, bro. Chris has got. Look, we'll get the mic stands.
It'll be
Yeah,
good.
and we'll do it.
Yeah.
we'll do it.
We'll see.
Like, No, because I want him on the show.
I
feel fairly.
I feel like
Hugh. If we do an epic song and dance,
he's a
my friend,
huge fan.
I am a huge fan.
But anyway, guys,
I think it's about time to wrap up the show.
It is about time to wrap up this craziness.
Tell them where to follow us.
Thank you for listening tonight. Make sure to go follow us at all of our social media handles: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, everywhere. Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Google Play Music and BourbonBayProductions.com. Follow us on Facebook, The Crazy Ant Film Company, Twitter, Crazy Ant Films, on Instagram, Crazy_Ant_Films, and on YouTube, Crazy Ant Films, and on Reddit, Crazy Ant Films. We have a website, crazyantfilms.com.
And is it worth it?
And is it worth it? Will come out soon.
Next week.
Stay drunk.
Stay drunk.
And we have merchandise.
Yeah, and merchandise. We have merchandise.
You like this shirt?
You can buy it on our website.
Yeah.
On our
Go
website.
to crazyantfilms.com.
What was that?
There
you go.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Anyway, guys. Oprah.
Oprah.
Stay crazy.